Check. Stick that in a convenient pocket.
It is a football Friday night. It's playoff time in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. First round of the AHSAA playoffs getting underway in stadiums across the state, including right here in East Alabama. John Holder with you on this football Friday night for high school football. Alabama's After the Game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We're coming to you live tonight from the Dad's Barbecue Top of the River Media Center at Parker Memorial Baptist Church on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston. And we've got a loaded show for you. Highlights from literally all over the state. We got 9 games, 18 teams with highlights. We will have every score in the state of Alabama. We'll show you the brackets. We've got all 104 scores. We'll show you not only the scores from last night and tonight, we'll also get you set for the second round matchups next week as we go through the brackets and a whole lot more. So let's get it started. Our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard, and we'll give you all the final scores of local teams across East Alabama as we roll into our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard on this football Friday night playoff time. We will have highlights of this game. My crew was at the Field of Champions in Piedmont, number 2 Piedmont. This was a 14-14 game deep into the second quarter. Then Piedmont turned on the Jets as they got into the latter half of that second quarter. Piedmont having a tough time with this very good Collinsville team. We'll talk more about them later on. But number 2 Piedmont advances to round number 2. Looks like they're going to be at home again next week against Lauderdale County, coming down from Rogersville. They met several times in the playoffs. They'll meet again next week at the Field of Champions. Piedmont 46, Collinsville 28, the final. Highlights of that game on the way. This game closer than it appeared over at Appalachian at Straight Mountain tonight in Blount County. This is a close game until late. Appalachian pulls away. They defeat the Donahoe Falcons tonight, 34-10 the final from over at Straight Mountain in Blount County. Good season, though, for the Donahoe Falcons as they make the playoffs. The Oxford Yellow Jackets, number 3 team in the state in 6A, undefeated, 11-0. Had some trouble early with Buckhorn, but Oxford, that offense is hard to stop. And they got it rolling in the second half, and they beat Buckhorn tonight, 42-0, the final score from Lamar Field in Oxford. We will have highlights of that game coming as well. Randolph and Anniston, not a final. Late in the game, Anniston was leading Randolph 34-12, so it looks like the Bulldogs will be winning and coming home to play in the second round of the 4A playoffs, looking for a final score, but Anniston was leading in the second half by 3 touchdowns in Huntsville against the Randolph Raiders tonight. We will have highlights of this game. We were there. My crew was at Paul Benefield Stadium in Fyffe last night, a game that I know this is going to sound crazy, 66-30, number 5, Fyffe knocking off Ohatchee. But Ohatchee was only down 22-8 at halftime. Played really well defensively in the first half. We'll show you highlights of that game. We've got a ton of highlights from Fyffe's 66-30 win over the Ohatchee Indians last night up in Fyffe. Huge win for the Alexandria Valley Cubs. They go to Steventon tonight, R.D. Hicks Stadium. They beat number 8 North Jackson, upset 38-35. This game really should not have been this close. Alexandria late in the third quarter was up 35-14. North Jackson brought it all the way back, tied it at 35, and then Cleet Forrest doing his thing. Alexandria beating North Jackson 38-35 tonight. Alexandria will come home next week as well. They'll play in Death Valley next week as Alexandria upsets North Jackson tonight 38-35. A valiant effort by the Weaver Bearcats tonight playing up at Sylvania. This was only a 7-0 game at halftime. Sylvania pulled away in the second half, but a great end of the season by Weavers. They really got on a roll there. Weaver falls tonight at Sylvania, 27-9, the final score tonight up in DeKalb County at Sylvania. Tough road trip. We had a lot of teams from Calhoun County up in Jackson and DeKalb County tonight and last night. Ohatchee was at 5. We had Weaver playing at Sylvania. We had Alexandria at North Jackson, and we had Jacksonville playing at number 10 Scottsboro. This was just not a game that went Jacksonville's way at all. They were down 42-6 at halftime. Scottsboro, into the third quarter, I should say. 35-6 at halftime, 42-6 at the end of the third quarter. Number 10 Scottsboro puts it on cruise control in the second half as they end Jacksonville season 49-13 tonight from up at Trammell Stadium. This was our game of the week tonight. Our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance game of the week. Pleasant Valley hosting a playoff game for the first time in 40 years tonight out at Raider Field. Sulligent, though, coming out of a tough region. Good football team, very underrated, a team that had beaten Tuscaloosa Academy early in the year. They come in, they lead Pleasant Valley and beat Pleasant Valley. They led 44-16 at one point in time at halftime, and they beat Pleasant Valley tonight 56-22. We will have complete highlights of that game, some post-game reaction from Jonathan Nix and the Raiders. Regardless, the tie for the best season in Pleasant Valley history. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. They tied the team from 1984 under Tommy Miller that also finished 8-3. They hosted a home playoff game for the first time in 40 years, and they also had 8 wins. Great season for Pleasant Valley. Sulligent ends the Pleasant Valley season tonight 56-22. Our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance game of the week complete highlights coming from out at Pleasant Valley. High-scoring game tonight. This has been something that's been a trend with Randolph County this year. Playing at home tonight in Wedowee at Hugh and Humphrey Stadium, Trinity Presbyterian of Montgomery. Always good, quality program. They come in and beat RCHS tonight 65-42, the final from Wedowee. We told you we had highlights from all over the state. We got highlights of this game from last night in Fairhope. Number 5 in 4A, St. Michael Catholic, coached by Philip Rivers, and his son's the quarterback, Gunner Rivers. We'll show you both of them in our highlights. Last night, St. Michael Catholic scored 63 as they beat the Handley Tigers 63-40. Last year, they played in Roanoke, and Handley won. This time, Handley makes the trip down to Baldwin County. St. Michael wins the game 63-40. Highlights of that game on the way. Number 1 team in the state in Class 1A, Wadley, the Bulldogs tonight at home against Valley Head at Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium. Whoa, Wadley is mighty tough. Wadley goes to 9-0 with a 68-14 win over the Valley Head Tigers. We will have highlights of this game coming from Volunteer Stadium, where Central of Clay County was a winner over Greenville tonight, 49-0. number 2 ranked team in the state in the final ASWA poll in 5A. The Volunteers wearing out a highly regarded Greenville Tiger program team. Central wins it 49-0. Highlights of that game coming from Volunteer Stadium. Winterboro and Ragland still looking for a final on this one. Winterboro was leading late in the game. Don't have a final yet. Looking for a final on that from down at Winterboro. This was one of the games of the night in the state. Pell City led late. Fort Payne scores at the end of the game, and they win it. Huge game in 6A tonight up in Fort Payne. Fort Payne beats Pell City 24-23. We will have highlights of this game tonight. My crew was out at Spring Garden, where number 3 Spring Garden all over Victory Christian tonight, 54-21. Some of my friends, namely Mark Welch from Spring Garden, telling me, we want folks to know, though, that Victory Christian played really hard tonight. The folks at Spring Garden very impressed with how Victory played. You'll see some highlights of this game, only 12-7 early on in the second quarter. But Spring Garden, undefeated, 11-0, number 3 team in 1A. They beat Victory Christian tonight, 54-21. Spring Garden and Berry, that's a great matchup coming next week. That's going to be 2 teams that are combined 21-1 playing next week out at Jason Howard Field at Spring Garden. Moody and Arab tonight playing over at Moody. Late in the game, Moody was leading Arab by a score of 49-7. There we go, 49-7. That's not a final yet, but Moody was leading Arab 49-7 over at Bill Mars Stadium in Moody. We'll have a final. This was also 49-0. You saw a sneak preview of this one. Vincent beating Sandrock in Class 2A tonight. This game was down at Vincent. I don't know where we are there. Let's catch up. There we are. Number 10 Vincent in Class 2A beating the Sandrock Wildcats 49-0 tonight. Cherokee County, the Warriors, number 3 team in Class 4A. They were at home tonight at Bobby Joe Johnson Field and Center. They had their way with Westminster Christian out of Huntsville, winning the game 48-13 tonight to advance to round number 2. We have highlights of this game coming. Our cameras were at Hokes Bluff last year, 3A. Hokes Bluff first round went to Madison, played Madison Academy. Madison Academy beat them 57-20 last year on their way to the 3A championship game at Bryant-Denny Stadium. This was the rematch, both teams moving up to 4A, and it was Madison Academy winning that game 28-7 tonight out at Hokes Bluff to end the Bluff season. We will have highlights of that game coming from Hokes Bluff. Southside and Mountain Brook, kind of expected this a little bit. Number 5 Mountain Brook, great team out of that tough Class 6A Region 6. Mountain Brook tonight comes into Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. They beat the Panthers tonight 45-7. We will have highlights of that game coming from Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. In Gadsden City, met another one of those tough teams. This is a final. I think we've got that. Guys can probably put this up. Clay Chalk beat Gadsden City 33-3 tonight. Number 6 team in the state in Class 6A. Clay Chalk beating Gadsden City 33-3 tonight as a Class 6A Region 6. Pretty much there's the final, having their way with the folks in Class 6A Region 8, with the exception of a last-minute win by Fort Payne over Pell City. Back on high school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. And tonight, representing the Calhoun County Commission, we have our good friend Danny Shears in with us, live in studio. He's going to join us on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. Danny, you were at the Oxford game tonight, so give us a little rundown on the Yellow Jackets tonight and that big win against Buckhorn.
Well, you alluded to it early. They started a little bit slow, but once they got it going, Oxford is just very hard to stop. And when you shut out a playoff 6A team, to hold them scoreless, your defense plays pretty good. So Oxford is kind of, we talk about MEMS and all the weapons on offense with Oxford, but you know, every week I'm impressed with their defense.
Absolutely.
And so it was a fun game to be at. To be November 8th and you're wearing a short sleeve shirt at the game is kind of crazy, but you know, 2 of my favorite words are playoff football.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just the humanity of it, because you know, not just the football players, but the senior band, the senior cheerleaders, when they walk off and take that uniform off, many of them, that's it, you know, and it all hits home with the students, the parents, and sometimes I just stop and take it all in.
I'm going to show my age here, your age too. Casey Kasem on American Top 40 used to always say, as the numbers get smaller, the hits get bigger. It's the way it is in playoff football. As the number of teams get smaller, the games get bigger. And next week, we're going to have one of those big games right back down at Lamar Field in Oxford between two blue bloods of high school football, Oxford and Hartselle.
We were at Hartselle, I believe it was last year.
Yes, sir.
Oxford traveled up there, and the game came right down to the very end, and a controversial call went toward the Hartselle side, and they won the game. And a lot of Oxford fans still remember that, thought they'd won the game and held them on fourth down. And guy come in after about 5 seconds and threw his hands up for a touchdown for Hartselle. But anyway, it will be a classic ball game there in Oxford next week. I don't know what the weather's looking like, but, if folks want to see, great football right here in Calhoun County, they can come down to Lamar Field and see it. And Hartselle looks like a little Alabama Crimson Tide, with their helmets, numbers on the helmet, and their jerseys in crimson and white, and and Oxford in that traditional black and gold. It ought to be a clash of the Titans.
It's going to be a huge game. The thing about 6A football, as you know, Danny, sometimes you get in 1A, 2A, 3A, you might not get challenged till maybe the quarterfinals or even semifinals. 6A, there's a lot of blowouts in that first round like any other class. But in 6A, once you get to that second round, there are no easy games left because 6A football, that's just the way it is. There may be some easy games in the first round, but in the second round, it gets big, just like this Oxford-Hartselle game next week.
It's going to be a fantastic game. I hope it's a victory for the Yellow Jackets, but at this level, like you said, and then the winner, I think, would probably go to Parker in week 3, the way the bracket looks. Yeah. And so Oxford's season came to an end last year at Parker, and they had all them D1 guys, playing, and they got another fantastic team this year.
I love it when Danny Shears comes because Danny always brings us good news of things happening in Calhoun County. And Danny, I know you got more good news to bring us. The County Commission does a great job in supporting, as we talk about every Friday night on here, supporting our schools, supporting our recreation facilities, really everything of any value that goes on in this county. You don't have to go very far to see the Calhoun County Commission's behind it, helping that out, just like this show on Friday nights. And so tell us some good news. What's happening with the Calhoun County Commission?
Well, it's indeed an honor for me to serve with my fellow commissioners to represent the folks of Calhoun County. I could talk for the next 2 hours about all the good things, but I'm going to focus for a minute just on, as I was riding up here, I was thinking, what's the best thing? It's probably tourism in Calhoun County. Most people do not realize, and Jacksonville State School of Business just did a study for us, but tourism dollars coming into Calhoun County are at an all-time high. You've got the horse trails out at McClellan that are bringing people from, last year alone, 27 different states.
Wow.
Last weekend, they had every campsite. We've got about 54, I believe, out there. Every campsite was full last weekend with people from all over bringing horses and riding the trails. You got the bike trails. There's going to be a huge announcement real soon on a bike race that's coming, mountain bike race. And then you got Choccolocco Park, of course, and you got softball teams, the National Junior College World Series. You've got the high school state playoffs, baseball and softball. So tourism dollars coming into Calhoun County have never been greater than they are right now. And
Makes
people
sense.
say, well, how does that affect me? Well, it affects a lot of us because when you got outside dollars coming in, those monies can be spent right here. It helps small business. It helps with goes back into the cities so they can have the better police protection and fire protection and EMS coverage. So that money that comes in outside dollars, you just can't, well, you can put a figure on it, and Jacksonville State has. I mean, it's a very big impact. So I would say one of the best things we've got that we're going to keep pushing and promoting is the tourism dollars. I said last week to a lady, and I think I'm going to have some T-shirts made with it. I said, our parks and trails will bring you here to play, but it's our people that will make you want to stay.
We
have fantastic people in this county, and we roll out the red carpet and welcome people here, and they notice that. We've had coaches tell Mayor Alton Craft in Oxford. One coach from a college softball team has said, is this real? He said, what do you mean? He said, the way y'all act like you want us here. Is this real? He said, yeah, it's real. He said, we don't get treated this way anywhere else. And so it's a wonderful thing to be able to represent as an elected official the people of Calhoun County because of all the good going on. And I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it.
You're also very heavily involved with another great organization that we talk about here a lot on Friday nights. That's the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. Just ended their season. You have maybe one more meeting left, but we tell folks here on Friday nights it's not just about the meetings, also Media Day, which is huge. It's the best media day in the state, in my estimation. And then also scholarship money. That's the next thing I think on your horizon. And I don't know if people realize how much scholarship money you give to local folks right here in Calhoun County.
Well, again, we have a great board of directors that I'm proud to serve with, and a great membership, the Quarterback Club. We just finished up our 78th year.
Wow.
And our big project is we award each spring 3 $5,000 scholarships. We get each school in the county to nominate one player, and I mean, it's tough to decide to pick out 3. Matter of fact, we've been so fortunate that 3 of the last 4 years we've been able to award 4 $5,000 scholarships each year. And so that money goes, whether it's Jack State or wherever that young man is going to school, you know, they get that. And we've had, really it's for the parents more than the players, because as a parent of college kids, I know it helps out a lot. So we're very fortunate to do that. Matter of fact, we just wrapped up our 8-week season of speakers last Monday night. We were supposed to have Holly Rowe, and she had to change because she had some damage from the hurricanes, actually. So she's committed to next year. But we had Alyssa Lang from the SEC Network this past Monday night here in Anniston, and she did a fantastic job. But this coming Monday is our raffle scholarship dinner. We do one of those. We sell 300 tickets. We do a reverse drawing. You know, someone will win $10,000. You get a steak dinner for 2. It's $125 per ticket. But we will raise our money that we turn around and give right back in the spring as our scholarship. So we've got a great quarterback club. We have open membership. We kind of cap it at around 120. So we, after COVID hit, we always kept playing or kept meeting. But we've got room for about 25 more. So anybody next year that says they want to be a part of something that's progressive, that's helping kids, reach out to me and we'll get you in.
2 great organizations. Danny, thank you. I know it's been a long day tonight. You've been ball game and cheering and then coming and being with us. But as I said, you always bring good news. You certainly did that tonight. Thank you for what you do for this show and making this happen for the folks here in East Alabama. Couldn't do it without the Calhoun County Commission.
Well, I appreciate that. I tell you, every year I love the show. I'm one of the ones that watch it every Friday night. And I appreciate you and your hard-working staff to bring us quality highlights and scores that we wouldn't find anywhere else. So thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Danny. Thank you so much for coming and being with us. Danny Shears, Calhoun County Commission and the Calhoun County Quarterback Club. All right, we're starting something that for this season that we started last season, and that is we've selected 5 games in the regular season to be our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year, and we have nominee number 1. We're going to show you 5 of these throughout the night. One of these, we take you all the way back to week number 1, August 23rd, New Hope and Ohatchee. This was a game that set state records. Most points ever scored in a game in high school at the time in Alabama. Ohatchee won the game 76-71, and they did it on a Hail Mary pass on the last play of the game as Ohatchee beat New Hope 76-71. Out at Reagan Clark Stadium, Roy C. Owens Field on the creek bank at Ohatchee. Certainly a nominee worthy of being our Northeast Orthopedics video, or should say Game of the Year. And here's the thing about it. You're going to decide this. We're going to begin at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning on our High School Football Alabama Facebook page. All 5 of these nominees will be up. All you have to do is go like whichever you think is the Game of the Year, and then we'll give you about a couple weeks to vote. And then we'll announce on our last show here on November 22nd who will be the Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. That's just one of 5 nominees, is the New Hope and Ohatchee game. Well, we mentioned earlier about Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week. And let's tell you about Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance. He's located in Heflin on Ross Street. Protects what matters most: home, auto, life, business. He covers all of East Alabama. a former local athlete, Oxford High School, and now he has got one of the top insurance agencies in this state, and it's right here in East Alabama. For all of your home, auto, life, and business needs, see Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance in Heflin. We'll be back with more of High School Football Alabama's After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team One Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team One Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team One Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team One Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
As we've been telling you for almost a month now, Alabama Teachers Credit Union is no more. Now, they didn't go out of business. They just changed their name to Emblem Credit Union. Great folks with locations all across East Alabama, and you can be a member if you live, work, or attend school in Calhoun, Cherokee, DeKalb, Etowah, or Marshall counties. You can be a member. Go to their new website, emblemcu.com. Also, that's emblemcu.com. They've changed everything. Great folks at Emblem Credit Union. Life has purpose when you stand for something, and at Emblem Credit Union, they stand for you. We have 3 final scores of local teams that we were missing that we need to pass along to you. Here's one of those, the Aniston Bulldogs. The Bulldogs win tonight on the road in the city of Huntsville against the Randolph Raiders tonight by a score of 40-12 in the first round of the 4A playoffs. So Aniston, the Bulldogs, get Good Hope, and that game will be at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium. Good Hope beat Hatton tonight 42-12. So Aniston returns home for the second round of the 4A playoffs as they get a 10-1 Good Hope Raider team. Aniston beat some Raiders tonight. Maybe they can do that next week as they come into Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium. Also, another score we were missing, a local game, a local playoff game. Two local teams playing each other. Winterboro tonight beat Raglan. 38-12 was the final score in that game down at Winterboro. So Winterboro will advance to round number 2. They will get the winner of Hackleburg and Pickens County. Looks like that game, regardless, Winterboro would be on the road, either going to Hackleburg up in Marion County in northwest Alabama, or going to Perennial Power Pickens County over in Reform. But they are in round number 2. It will be Hackleburg. Hackleburg, they tells me, did beat Pickens County. So Winterboro going to Hackleburg next week in the second round of the 1A playoffs. And another final that we were missing tonight, that's in Class 5A. Number 4, Moody at Bill Morris Stadium over in Moody, having no problem with the Arab Knights tonight, as Moody beat Arab very impressively. 49-7 was the game there where Moody won, and Moody will get the winner of Russellville and Winona next week in the second round of the Class 5A playoffs. Back time for more of our visits that we have on our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser. At this point in time, we're going to bring in and talk for just a couple of minutes here with Jason Boatman of the East Alabama Football Officials Association. Jason, welcome in. Glad to have you with us once again here on After the Game. You were up doing some observing tonight up at Spring Garden. We were there shooting highlights, and you were there tonight. You stayed a little longer than we did. Yeah. We left into the first quarter. Spring Garden really pouring it on there. But like my buddy Mark Welch said, Victory played very well tonight. Very good coach team. Matt Griffith does a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Our guys was up there tonight, so I just kind of went up there, and I didn't have a game this week, so I went up there and watched that. You know, we had 3 games, our association did, and I said, let me just go up there and watch that one. I want to go try them steak sandwiches. They're everything everybody's always talked about.
We got one in there for Coach Short. We'll explain what that's all about in just a moment. But yeah, they just about ran out of them, maybe ran out of them in the concession stand tonight. But Victory, a well-coached team. Just Spring Garden, though, is so physical in their running game. Their running game, they've got about 3 running backs, kind of interchangeable from what I saw tonight. And they've got speed. They got a little size to them. They certainly have power to them. Spring Garden running game is pretty dang tough in Class 1A.
Yeah, that was a good football game up there tonight. You know, competitive. You know, it was pretty clean, and you know, I thought our guys did a great job up there tonight.
East Alabama Football Officials Association had your banquet this week. I spoke at that last year. This year you had another one of our crew members here from after the game, Michael Short. Coach Short speaking to you on Monday night.
Yes, sir. This past Monday night, Coach Short come in and spoke to us. Banquet down here in West Sizzling. We've had it there for 2 years, and Kenny and his bunch down there do a great job in hosting it and everything. And we enjoy going down there. You know, great food, great atmosphere, and always believe in supporting local businesses.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of the reason you're here tonight. The main reason you're here tonight, we are at a critical mass, I guess you would say, in the need for high school football officials.
Correct.
A lot of these guys are getting older. A lot of these guys are retiring. They're stepping aside. And, Jason, there's just not a lot of young folks coming along to replace them. So I know you want to put out the call tonight.
Absolutely.
That we need football officials, or we're going to be doing some strange things in this state, like a lot of Thursday night games coming
Thursdays, I mean, a couple of years ago, I went Thursday and Friday 2 or 3 times a week. I mean, you know, 2 or 3 weeks there in a row, I went Thursday and Friday nights. Yeah, it's still not too early. I mean, it's still not too late to, you know, it is obviously for this year. But if you want to do it next year, I've given y'all the website to our, you know, they're going to post it on our social media page, and it's got a contact page on there. Send us an email. We're going to get in contact with you. Not just football. I'm mainly here for football, but all sports.
Yes.
All sports across the board. And there's just a shortage, I mean, because a lot of people say, I don't want to come out and do abuse and hear, you know, from all the stands and everything, you know, fans and stuff. But, you know, it's a brotherhood. I've been doing it 16, 17 years. It's been good to me. And I enjoy it, you know. I probably spend a week, probably 10 to 20 hours a week watching film.
Wow.
My game.
It's like a coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, if I'm fortunate enough to get a playoff game next week, I'll, you know, chances are I've never had any one of the 2 teams, and I'll start watching film on them too, see what they do and stuff like that.
If you love high school football, maybe you're a former athlete, maybe you played high school football, it's a great way to still stay in the game. And there's you know, Coach Saban always talked about being a part of a team. And there's a camaraderie there.
Absolutely.
And if you desire and have that craving to be a part of a team again, officiating is a great way to do that and earn some money.
Well, yeah, I mean, you make $110, $120 dollars for a Friday night, and $60, $65, I think, for a junior high game. But like you said, though, there's 3 teams on that field every night. You got the home team, visiting team, and the officiating team. Tonight at the Garden, I was watching the officiating team. I was supporting them guys there.
It's a great thing for high school officials. These young guys, you want to stay a part of the game, and we got a lot of those guys that obviously love high school football. This is a great way to.
A lot of folks think we just show up on Fridays and say, but Devin Berry is our vice president. He puts countless hours in, watching film, and he gets film from coaches every week and say, hey, this is what you missed, and he'll send that film out to the crew. Hey, with notes on it and stuff, this is what you missed. But then we start in July. As soon as the 4th of July is over with, we start back and we go. I mean, once the season starts, we'll go every other week. But there's like 6 or 8 weeks right there in a row. We're just every Thursday night. I mean, people don't understand the time that we put into the stuff, away from our families, traveling, going to games, wherever. The fees, the money we pay to go to these camps and stuff. Yeah, it costs. It costs some money, but you also, like you say, talk about the brotherhood, the fraternity. It's like a big family. And that's what we tell our folks at East Alabama football officials. We're like a big family out there.
We want to mention one other thing, too, that's vitally important, especially as we get into the playoffs. A lot high stakes. They get higher every week as we move through the month of November. We want to make a big appeal to you. I'll let Jason do this, but I'll back him up on this. We want to make a big appeal to you that don't let those emotions get out of hand, and be kind to these guys. Be kind to these guys. These guys are not out there trying to go one team against the other. You hear that all your life, that you're for this team, you're for that team. There's none of that going on. As you and I talked about the other night, you guys make mistakes.
Absolutely, we're human.
Those coaches make mistakes. Those players make mistakes. Well, the officials make mistakes as well. Show a lot of grace to these guys.
We have a split second to rule on something and process it. And, as I told you the other night when I talked to you, we're the only team that is expected to be perfect very first snap of week 0 or week before week 0, and then we get better at the end.
Yes.
But the very first snap, they expect us. And Devin Berry, our vice president, preaches this in our meetings. And he does, like I said. Devin, our e-board, and our board at East Alabama, everybody does a great job.
Finally, before I let you get out of
Absolutely.
here, get on with your evening, you mentioned the website. Give folks that information. Also, I think there's a Facebook page as well.
Well, we don't have a Facebook.
No, Facebook. Okay.
We got the website, and I know y'all get that posted for us.
We'll get that posted.
And click it, send an email. It's going to come to me and Thomas Pratt. I'm going to get back to you. Give me 24 to 48 hours. Get back to you. But I will get back to you and answer any kind of questions you have. And if you don't want to do football, and say you may want to do baseball coming up or softball, we've got, right here, I know who to contact and all that, but mainly football. We need more football officials.
Absolutely. Jason Boatman, our guest this evening here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. Jason, thank you so much for spending time, making the drive from Spring Garden back here and being with us on this football Friday night. Let's tell you about the folks at RMC. Regional Medical Center has been a part of what we do here at High School Football Alabama since the beginning, back in the radio days. And then they come forward since we've been doing the live stream as well. So RMC, great folks, bringing you High School Football Alabama's After the Game. And there's RMC Health System. And if you're looking for primary care, we've got the right care right here in Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville, even down in Roanoke. Learn more at rmccares.org/family medicine. It's time for our first extra point of the night, presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. The AHSAA State Football Playoffs began last night with a total of 208 teams competing in 7 classifications. There are 32 teams in each class in classes 1A through 6A. The top 4 teams from 8 regions in every class qualify for the playoffs. In Class 7A, the top 4 teams also qualify, but there are only 4 regions qualifying, just 16 teams for the playoffs. We've got tons of highlights, all the brackets, every score in the state still to come on After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. All righty.
Your home
Thank
is
you.
a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
We'll begin running through our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets a little bit later on. We'll give you the brackets for 1A through 7A, every score in the state. Team 1 Chevrolet, it's tailgate season. There's never been a better time to visit the folks at Team 1 Chevrolet in Gadsden. 1.9 financing on all their top tailgate vehicles like the Blazer, the Equinox, Silverados. While you're there, register for the Ultimate Iron Bowl tailgate. You know, that's coming up in just 3 weeks, the Iron Bowl. Save big, be a winner at Team 1 Chevy in Gadsden, home of the best people, the best service, period. Let's go back to our USA Softball of Alabama scoreboard, and we'll give you all the final scores coming up here in East Alabama. They're all in. Highlights of this game coming. Number 2 Piedmont over Collinsville, 46-28. Appalachian tonight, they end Donahoe's season, 34-10. Highlights of this game coming. Oxford beat Buckhorn tonight, 42-0 at Lamar Field. The Anniston Bulldogs winning tonight in Huntsville as they beat the Randolph Raiders. That's not Randolph County. That's Randolph from Huntsville Private School, 40-12. Last night, Fyffe beat Ohatchee 66-30. We will have highlights of that game coming on after the game a little bit later on. Alexandria in a thriller. They had a 35-14 lead. North Jackson tied it at 35. Alexandria kicks a field goal, wins it 38-35. Upset tonight over number 8 North Jackson in Stevenson. Sylvania ends the Weaver season. Great effort by Weaver, only down 7-0 at halftime. Sylvania pulls away in the second half. They beat the Bearcats 27-9. Jacksonville, a tough time at number 10 Scottsboro tonight at Trammell Stadium. Scottsboro wins 49-13. Our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week, Pleasant Valley and Sulligent. Coach Michael Short, Jordan Smith will be along with all the highlights and complete post-game reaction of the first home playoff game in 40 years for Pleasant Valley, but they lose tonight at home at Raider Field to Sulligent, 56-22. Trinity Presbyterian of Montgomery, they come to Randolph County. They end the Tiger season 65-42. We will have highlights of this game from the Gulf Coast. St. Michael Catholic beating Handley 63-40. 63-40, St. Michael over Handley last night down in Fairhope. We will have highlights of that game coming. Wadley tonight, #1 team in 1A, beating Valley Head 68-14. Central of Clay County, we will have highlights of this game. #2 team in 5A, shutting out Greenville tonight impressively, 49-0. Winterboro in 1A, they rolled around 2 in a local matchup as they beat Raglan tonight down at Winterboro, 38-12. Fort Payne scores at the end of the game. Kind of been a theme for Fort Payne this year. They end the Pell City season 24-23 up at Fort Payne in Class 6A. Spring Garden, highlights of this game coming. The #3 Panthers now 11-0. They beat Victory Christian in another local matchup. Two local teams playing each other. Spring Garden over Victory Christian 54-21. Highlights of that game on the way. Moody tonight, blistering Arab 49-7 over at Moody. Vincent in Sandrock season. They beat the Wildcats tonight down in Vincent 49-0. Cherokee County rolls on to the second round in Class 4A. The #3 Warriors beating Westminster Christian of Huntsville 48-13. Madison Academy ends the Hokes Bluff season. We will have highlights of this game coming from the Bluff. Madison Academy winning 28-7. We'll also have highlights of this game. #5 and 6A Mountain Brook. They end the Southside season, beating the Panthers 45-7 at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. And Gadsden City, it was not a good night for Etowah County teams. Gadsden City making the trip down I-59 to Clay Chalkville, and they lose to the #6 Cougars tonight by a score of 33-3. All right, we had our final Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week presentation today. This morning, we were in Jacksonville. We were at Jacksonville Christian Academy presenting the state champion. Hey, you win a state championship, I think that's worthy of being a Team of the Week. And our Ted's Floor and Beyond Team of the Week, the Jacksonville Christian Thunder. I'm going to show you some video of that. We were out there today. They had a big championship celebration today. All the kids there, the little ones, the K4s were there, the cheerleaders up and down. They had all kinds of things going on. We were there presenting the Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts. There you see the state championship trophy as the Thunder rolled into the gym there at JCA today. There's Coach Tommy Miller, the legendary coach, speaking to the crowd as well. We had our own awards to remember. We had our Tough Guy Trophy, our Team of the Week trophy presented to them. You see Cole Sterling there with Ted's Floors and Beyond presenting that trophy as well. We had the Ted's Floors and Beyond T-shirts for all the members of the team. And we also had our Anniston Orthopedic Score shirts that we presented as well to all the members of the Jacksonville Christian Thunder. Our final Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week of the 2024 season, the Jacksonville Christian Thunder. Now we're rolling through our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year nominees. We've already shown you one. Here's #2, and this was also back on August 23rd. The Battle of Highway 9, the Piedmont Bulldogs playing the Cherokee County Warriors at Bobby Joe Johnson Field, Warrior Stadium and Center. It was a classic game that came all the way down to the very end of the game. A 1/10 of a second left in the game. It was Cherokee County losing to Piedmont. Piedmont came in and pulled what at the time was an upset on this play right here, 34-27. As Piedmont wins it with a 1/10 of a second to go in the game. You will be able to vote beginning tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on our High School Football Alabama Facebook page. We'll give you 2 weeks to vote for our Game of the Year. That's nominee #2, Piedmont's 34-27 win over their arch rival Cherokee County in the Battle of Highway 9. Let's tell you about the fine folks at Ted's Floors and Beyond. They've been great partners with our Team of the Week. And listen, they have a great showroom out there in Sachs on U.S. Highway 431. They can show you the latest trends and options. The shopteds.com website is fantastic. You can call them at 256-231-0008 for more information or to schedule a free estimate as well. Ted's Floors and Beyond, bringing you our Team of the week. Tons of highlights and every score in the state, the brackets, that's all still to come. We're just getting started on a football Friday night here at After the Game.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008. We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Gym, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We just showed you our awards to remember Tough Guy trophy that goes to our Ted's Floors and Beyond Team of the Week, presenting the last one of those trophies to JCA today up in Jacksonville. Awards to remember, the place to go for plaques, trophies, medals, all types of awards. The top awards dealer in East Alabama and one of the top dealers in the Southeast, one of the top 10. As a matter of fact, go to awardstορemember.com. Call them at 892-2500, and I would say drop by and see them at their facility, 4017 Alabama Highway 144 in Ohatchee. We are down to the final round of voting in our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. $1,500 scholarships, 2 of those, 1 to a male, 1 to a female. The voting for the final round, we've got 2 athletes, 1 male, 1 female from 20 schools, every school in Calhoun and Cherokee counties. And we begin the final round of voting. It's going to take place for 10 days through noon on November the 18th. So here we go. Here are the 40 nominees. All 40 of these, by the way, are going to get a $50 gift card courtesy of the folks at Farmers and Merchants Bank. And you go to our Facebook page and you make a comment about the one you would like to see win this. So let's go through the top 40. Here it is. Just like we've been referencing Casey Kasem a lot tonight, here's our Spirit Scholarship top 40. We begin with Alexandria High School. The female, Caden Pritchett. Volleyball, softball with a 3.7 GPA. The male nominee from Alexandria is Quadavian McDowell, 3.8 GPA, football, basketball, and track. Then from Anniston High School, we have Chakia Cooley, 4.1 GPA, a cheerleader, and the male is Dylan Goodson, a 4.0 GPA. He's a basketball player. Cedar Bluff High School, Kalen Vadon, 3.7 GPA, volleyball, cheerleading, and softball. Also, Hunter Stallings from Cedar Bluff. Hunter, a 4.0 GPA, football, basketball, and baseball. Cherokee County High School, we have Vivian Cannell, 4.0 GPA, girls basketball player. Also, Carson Tittle. Carson Tittle has a GPA of 3.8, and he plays football and baseball. Donahoe, here are their nominees. Laura Lee Church, a soccer player, 4.2 GPA. And then also Braden Johnson, a 3.0 GPA, a football and baseball player for the Falcons. Faith Christian School, we have Serenity Pate. Serenity, 4.14 GPA, volleyball and basketball player for the Lions. The male nominee from Faith is Ethan Taft, a 3.47 GPA, a basketball, baseball, and track athlete. From Galesville High School, Aubrey Peak, a 3.9 GPA, volleyball and softball, and also Alex Beatty, the great running back, a 3.69 GPA, football, basketball, and baseball player. Hope Christian School in Oxford, Carmindy Donovan, a 4.0 GPA. She's a cheerleader. And also Cruz Hadley is the male athlete with a 3.5 GPA, a basketball player. Jacksonville, we go on now to Jacksonville Christian, I believe it is. This is actually will be Jacksonville High School. This is Alexis Phillips, 95.26 GPA, volleyball and basketball. And also Zachariah Lemon, a football and baseball player with an 88.60 GPA. Now we go to Jacksonville Christian, and we have Tori Burdett, a 4.0 GPA, cheerleading, basketball, and track. And then Nicholas Brodeur, a 3.7 GPA, football, basketball, and baseball player for the Thunder. Now we move on to Ohatchee High School. Savannah Reeves, a volleyball and softball player with a 3.66 GPA. Also from Ohatchee, Nate Jones, great football player for them, a 4.12 GPA. Next, we have the Oxford Yellow Jackets, and their female athlete is Jaslyn Montgomery, a 4.30 GPA, volleyball and basketball player, and Jackson Bates, a cheerleader, 4.15 GPA. For the Piedmont Bulldogs, here are their nominees. Morgan Studdard, a 4.651 GPA, basketball and cross-country athlete. Also Caleb Tidwell, a 4.52 GPA, football, wrestling, and track star. For the Pleasant Valley Raiders, we begin with Abby Brock, a 4.22 GPA, varsity cheer, cross country, and track and field. And also Cooper May, a track and field athlete with a 3.97 GPA. The Sacs Wildcats, their representatives are Adriana Stevens, a 99.08 GPA, volleyball, cheer, and softball. And also Aiden Chass, he is a 99.91 GPA, football and soccer. For Sandrock High School, we have Anna Salazar, track and field, basketball, and the school mascot. She's one of the two Wildcats they have at Sandrock, 4.0 GPA. And then also we have Caden Bullard. He's a football and baseball athlete with a 3.8 GPA. From Spring Garden High School, Avery Stewart just picked up another ring and made All-State in volleyball to go with the basketball and volleyball from last year. 4.25 GPA, volleyball, basketball, and softball player. Also, Noah Barber from Spring Garden, a 3.88 GPA, a football, basketball, and baseball player for the Panthers. Weaver High School, we have J.D. Hatton Rivera, a 4.19 GPA, volleyball star for the Weaver Bearcats, and also Caden Gooden, outstanding athlete, 3.49 GPA, a football, basketball, and track athlete. Walter Welborn High School, their two nominees are Bentley Bean, a 4.06 GPA, cheerleading, volleyball, basketball, and track. She does it all for the Panthers. And then Raymond Williams from Welborn, a 3.57 GPA, a football and basketball player. And finally, White Plains High School, Leighton Arnold, a 3.8 GPA, volleyball and softball player for the Wildcats. And our final nominee is the male athlete from White Plains High School, and that is Patrick Sams, a football, baseball, and track athlete with a 3.27 GPA. And again, you can go to our High School Football Alabama Facebook page beginning at midnight tonight and begin voting all the way through 12 noon Monday, November the 18th for our F&M Bank Spirit Scholarship. We welcome now for the first time here the birthday boy, as I understand it. Coach Michael Short is here with us. Coach, welcome in. Glad to have you back here with you on the show tonight. Glad to have you with us. And from Pleasant Valley, we'll have you and Jordan recapping that game for us. But we've been doing a lot of football the last 2 nights, Coach. We were at Fyffe last night for the Fyffe Ohatchee Class 3A showdown last evening. Pretty interesting game up on Sand Mountain that we attended last night.
Well, I mean, look at the history. Anytime you go to Fyffe, I mean, you got signs everywhere. You got region championships, area championships, state championships. You got it all. You know, it was going to be tough for Ohatchee anyway, but heck, I mean, they still got to the playoffs. That was one of their goals. Well, I tell you what, Fyffe is just Fyffe. They got it rolling.
They do. Ohatchee played better than the score, especially in the first half. They played better than the score will indicate. Let's take you out to Paul Benefield Stadium in Fyffe, get you with the highlights tonight as we take you out to our High School Football Alabama highlights. This will, we got a little something going on there with our Spirit Scholarship. We want to get you some highlights going here of the Fyffe and Ohatchee game that we'll have coming up in just a couple moments. I promise you we were there, and there it is. Well, that's Piedmont.
There we go. We got there.
Fyffe Red Devils. Look at this. Just a tremendous record that they have there. This is the guy who got hurt early in the game, Logan Anderson, a 42-yard touchdown run. Look at the stiff arm on the Ohatchee defender. And then Anderson with a 2-point run for Fyffe coming up right here as he takes it in, and it's 8-0 in favor of the Red Devils. Then we come back, and it's going to be Ohatchee passing the football. They were good at this last night. This is Collins with a 12-yard pass from Robertson across the middle there. Then we're going to come back. This is Robertson looking for Colby Hester. Hester with a 14-yard reception from Robertson. Then we see Grady Hunter getting into the action next for the Indians. This is a 25-yard pass coming from Robertson across the middle, deep into Fyffe territory. Then another receiver, a lot of great receivers for Ohatchee. This is going to be Jaden Hurd with a 24-yard touchdown pass from Robertson. Beat the Fyffe defender, falls into the end zone. And then they're not done with the passing yet, because on the 2-point conversion, this is going to be Robertson going to Collins again, kind of a jump pass into the end zone between 2 Fyffe defenders, and that tied the game at 8-8. But on the ensuing kickoff, trouble coming for the Ohatchee Indians, because this is Maddox Doss taking the ball and going down the home team sideline, a 76-yard kickoff return for the touchdown. And Ohatchee was tied for a moment, but only for a moment, as Fyffe regains the lead. Ohatchee not done yet, though. This is Hester coming up again with a 34-yard pass, wide open from Robertson there. But then more trouble, turnovers and special teams. Not the best last night for Ohatchee, as you're going to see. Again, Mr. Doss, who had that kickoff return, now he has an interception. Look at that diving interception down at the 4-yard line in Fyffe territory to end that Ohatchee drive. But then Fyffe makes a mistake of their own. You'll see the fumble right here. Ball knocked out by the Ohatchee defense and recovered at the Fyffe 11-yard line. The Fyffe defense holds, and they force a 4th and 7. There's a timeout as Coach Chris Finley talking with his team about what play to call. Robertson double pumps, throws into the end zone, and it is going to be intercepted by, again, there he is, number 3, Doss, with his second pick in 3 plays to end that drive. There's a guy that you need to know. His name is Mr. Gibson. Mr. Gibson from Fyffe taking it 41 yards for the touchdown as Fyffe extends their lead to 22-8. And now more Fyffe and more Gibson. Gibson this time with a 36-yard run, taking it deep into Ohatchee territory. And then it's Gibson again. This time coming with a 4-yard touchdown run. We'll see him coming right here. This is classic Fyffe football as he takes it around the end untouched for the touchdown. That made it 30-8 in favor of the Fyffe Red Devils. They are not done yet, because there's Blake Dobbins Dobbins with a pick six. That was the backbreaker for Ohatchee as they were able to really take the lead out. That put them way up at 37-8. Ohatchee not done yet. Here's another long 40-yard touchdown pass. Colby Hester in the end zone. Hester from Robinson again, but it was too much, or I should say too little too late, as Fyffe went on. When we left, Coach, it was 44-22. Fyffe goes on to win the game 66-30 last night. And by the way, Logan Anderson, the great tailback who's already committed to play for Clemson, who we saw score that first touchdown, had a knee injury on the second drive of the game, did not return last night.
He did not. There's a lot of speculations that nobody knows officially yet, but it was a knee injury that he did not return. You know, the one thing I noticed, and me and you both talked about it, is a lot of people talk about Fyffe and how physical they are. I mean, they are a very physical football team. They have a physical brand of football. But did you notice that they're always out there? They'll knock you down and try to knock you out, but then they'll reach down and help you up. And that's what high school football is supposed to be about.
Some of the best sportsmanship I've seen this year, to be honest with you, from Fyffe. And everybody says, well, you got to be tough and hard, and you can't. That's sissy stuff, helping a guy back up and being a sportsman. Well, you just saw in our opening shot there, 7 state championships by Fyffe, 24 10-win seasons. A good chance they're going to have 25 10-win seasons. Nobody ever calls Fyffe soft.
No.
And the sportsmanship was really good.
And when you help them up, you're actually helping them up, and everybody sees that. They don't know what you're saying. I mean, you're sitting there telling them, I'm going to be right back, and we're going to do it again. Are you ready for that? And Bear Bryant did it, and his teams weren't soft.
All right, now we're going to start with our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. We're going to give you, before the night is over, every score in the state of Alabama from the first round of the playoffs, 1A through 7A. And we're also going to give you the second round matchups for the games coming up next Friday night all across the state of Alabama. So we're going to begin, as we always do, in Class 1A, and we'll begin in the South. It was McKenzie beating Keith tonight out of Orrville. That game was down in McKenzie tonight, as McKenzie beats Keith 50-6, the final score. Milry, they've been really tough in Class 1A the last couple of years. They beat University Charter School. That game was in Livingston, 34-6. So next week it will be McKenzie, and they will take on Milry. That game will be played at McKenzie. McKenzie, the number 8 team in the state in Class 1A. McKenzie 10-1, and Milry improves to 7-4. Also in the South tonight, number 9 Maplesville all over Florala tonight, 35-6, as they improve to 9-1. Great matchup next week with Sweetwater. Sweetwater tonight beat Choctaw County 48-14 at Sweetwater. So next week, Maplesville and Sweetwater. You want to talk about blue bloods. This is as blue as it gets, folks, in this state in any class. Maplesville hosting Sweetwater next week. Maplesville number 9, Sweetwater number 5. Maplesville 9-1, Sweetwater 9-2. We stay in the South with 2-time defending state champion in 1A, Leroy. They win tonight as they beat, that's not Pickens County. That's Pickens Academy. Pickens Academy. We'll tell you about Pickens County in a little bit, but that's Pickens Academy. Leroy beating Pickens Academy 43-20 tonight. I want to give the folks in the north a heart attack because they're in the north, yes. Pickens County. And then Georgiana tonight, they pull a little bit of an upset, not a big one, as they go in and beat Otaga Academy tonight. That was by a score of 40-32. So next week, another great matchup in the South next week. We will have number 2 ranked, 2-time defending state champion Leroy. They're 10-1. They will be at home. They're actually going to be on the road. They'll be on the road at Georgiana because Georgiana was a road team. So Georgiana will be the home team. So that'll be Leroy going to Georgiana next week. Georgiana comes in now 7-4 after that win tonight against Otaga Academy. We'll get that fixed for you. We'll go through these another time. But Georgiana was the road team, so they will be back at home next week taking on Leroy. Now, there it is. Georgiana at home against Leroy. Our final games in the South, we had Linden tonight beating Southern Choctaw 63-14 at Linden City Stadium. And then number 4 Elba all over Verbena tonight, 77-14 was the final in that game, being played down at Elba with Alvin Henderson, all-time leading rusher and scorer and everything in state history. Next week, this is a sneaky good game next week. Elba traveling to play at Linden. Linden improves to 8-2. And then you've got Elba coming in. They will be 9-2 coming into that game at Linden. Now let's come to the north in Class 1A. Wadley all over Valley Head tonight as they pounded the Tigers 68-14. Meek tonight, a winner over Hubbardville 14-8. So that will be Meek, the Tigers from Arley up in Winston County at Smith Lake. They will come to Curtis Lynch Memorial Stadium in Wadley to take on the Wadley Bulldogs next week. Wadley goes to 9-0. Meek improves to 8-3. Spring Garden winning over Victory Christian 54-21. Highlights of that game on the way. They'll get a very good Berry team. Berry beat Addison tonight 54-38 in a high-scoring game. Next week, 11-0 and number 3 ranked Spring Garden hosting a 10-1 Berry team. This will be one of the best matchups in the state in any classification. Berry coming to Spring Garden next Friday night. We stay in the north in Class 1A. Lynn tonight beat Cherokee 35-0 over in Winston County at Lynn. Appalachian tonight was a winner over Donahoe 34-10. So next week it will be Appalachian. They will travel on the road to take on Lynn in Northwest Alabama. Lynn, the number 7 team in the state in 1A, ranked 10-1. Appalachian improves to 9-2. And our final games in Class 1A in the north, Hackleburg. There's Pickens County. They did lose tonight. Pickens County loses to Hackleburg 41-6 tonight in Marion County at Hackleburg. And then Winterboro, a winner over Raglan. 2 local teams here in East Alabama playing each other down at Winterboro tonight. Winterboro over Raglan 38-12. Next week, Winterboro makes the trip over to Northwest Alabama to take on the Hackleburg Panthers. Now let's go to Class 2A in our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets tonight. We begin in the South. The Cottonwood Bears, number 3 team in the state in 2A, all over Lynette tonight down in the Wiregrass, 54-16. Goshen tonight routed Washington County of Chatham 55-22. So next week, the Goshen Eagles will fly into Cottonwood to take on the Bears. Cottonwood is 11-0, Goshen 9-2. That's going to be another great matchup down in the Wiregrass next week in Houston County at Cottonwood. Also tonight, number 4 Reeltown. Wow. They beat Houston County of Columbia tonight 65-0. And a close game. This is one of the better games in the state tonight. Down in Uri, Luverne beat J.U. Blackshear tonight 23-19. Had to come from behind to do that. And so, again, you talk about blue bloods. It's as blue as it gets right here. This is going to be Reeltown and Luverne. They'll play at Luverne next week. Reeltown 10-1. Luverne improves to 6-5. Also in the South tonight, Clark County of Grove Hill beating Zion Chapel of Jack, Alabama. Yes, that's a real place down the Wiregrass. Dale County, excuse me. And Clark County tonight beat Zion Chapel 41-12. Arrowton, the Purple Cats, came in and upset Lochapoka in their newly refurbished stadium tonight down in Lee County at Lochapoka 14-7. So next week, an interesting matchup. Clark County travels all the way from southwest Alabama to southeast Alabama to take on the Arrowton Purple Cats in the second round. Clark County goes to 8-3, number 9 team in the state in 2A. Arrowton improves to 6-5. Number 1 team in the state in 2A, Highland Home, beat St. Luke's Episcopal out of Mobile tonight 51-0, and they will get Providence Christian. Providence Christian out of Dothan. They beat Horseshoe Bend tonight at home in Dothan 53-28. So next week it will be Providence Christian. They will travel to Crenshaw County to take on the Highland Home Flying Squadron. Highland Home now 11-0. Providence Christian 10-1. That's going to be a great game down in the heart of Central Alabama next week. Now let's bring it to North Alabama in Class 2A. Southeastern, they're the team that took Coosa Christian's place as far as being the region champion. They beat Red Bay tonight over in Rimlap 47-0. The game that you'll see highlights of, our game of the week, Sulligent beat Pleasant Valley 56-22 tonight. So next week it will be Southeastern traveling to Sulligent to take on the Blue Devils. Southeastern 9-2. Sulligent improves to 7-4 with that win over Pleasant Valley tonight. This is a team that not a lot of folks are talking about. Talking about the Winston County Yellow Jackets from Double Springs over in the free state of Winston. Winston County tonight at home beat Cold Springs 56-34. Vincent tonight rolling over Sandrock 49-0. This is going to be a great game next week. Vincent going to Double Springs to take on Winston County. Winston County ranked number 5. They're 11-0. Vincent ranked number 10. They're now 9-2. Great game next week. Also staying in the north in Class 2A, Tuscaloosa Academy. No problem with North Sand Mountain tonight, 42-6. An upset last night. This was actually 35-27. We got 30-27. It was actually 35-27. Susan Moore beating Decatur Heritage last night. And so that's Susan Moore coming at home. They'll be at home in Sneed next week, hosting Tuscaloosa Academy as they'll come up from the city of Tuscaloosa. Susan Moore is now 6-5. Tuscaloosa Academy goes to 9-2. There's that corrected Susan Moore score there. Final games in the north in Class 2A. Number 2 ranked Pisgah beat Aliceville tonight. Those are two blue bloods of 2A football. Pisgah beat Aliceville up at Kennemer Stadium tonight, 50-28. Falkville tonight beat the Lexington Golden Bears 16-6. So next week it will be Falkville. They will travel in to take on Pisgah. Pisgah is now 10-1. Falkville goes to 7-4. Pisgah will be the prohibitive favorite in that game. Coach, 1A, 2A, as we flooded people with every score in the state there in the matchups for next week, what stands out to you in 1A and 2A second round action?
I've been to a lot of meetings in my life, but some things never change. I mean, I bet we could just about take brackets from last year and plug them in there again, and 95% of them are probably the same people. It never changes.
I wonder when. I've got to do my research a little bit on this. I can't remember the last time maybe Pickens County lost in the first round. That's been a long time.
Yeah, it may be a generation.
Lost to
decades, maybe, yeah. But again, like I said, those guys are going back down there tomorrow morning. They're all going to say, well, I see y'all again. It's the same old guys most every year.
Could be a really good game next week. Winterboro going to Hackleburg to play the team that beat Pickens County.
Very well could be, and they were so close last year, Winterboro was. And I think this may be the year they get over the hump and take it deeper into the playoffs.
And Spring Garden has Berry next week. That's a 10-1 Berry team, an 11-0 Spring Garden team. You want to see some great 1A football, go out to Spring Garden at Jason Howard Field next Friday night. It's going to be a great game.
It will be, and it'll be a very physical football game. Both of them love that style of play.
We're just getting started here. We got tons more highlights, all the brackets and all that going on. But right now it's time for our next extra point of the night. This is our State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36 extra point. This week marked the beginning of the 58th year of the AHSAA State Football Playoffs. The first round includes 16 games in classes 1A through 6A and 8 games in class 7A. There are 4 more rounds that will take place on November 15th, 22nd, 29th, and December 4th through the 6th with the Super 7 Championships in Birmingham. Back in a moment.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anderson Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Addison Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule. So where did she find all that?
Right here at RMC.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Wow, these guys are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
Back on high school football, Alabama after the game on this Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Coach Michael Short. Chad Barnett has the evening off. He'll be back with us next week for the second round of the playoffs. We're coming to you tonight from Parker Memorial Baptist Church. This is our home. We're here at the Dad's Barbecue Top of the River Media Center on Quintard Avenue in Midtown Anniston on this Football Friday night presented by the Calhoun County Commission. We've got our Emblem Credit Union bottom line throughout the night, giving you all the local final scores from around the state. And of course, we'll have our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets with every score in the state of Alabama from the first round and the second round matchups going on as well. Hope you're enjoying our Stay Put preview box presented by Red Threads, seeing all the chaos that goes on behind the scenes in the commercial breaks and so forth. So we hope that you're enjoying that on this Football Friday night as well. We're going to tell you in a little bit about USA Softball of Alabama. And let's go ahead and tell you about them. They bring our scoreboard here each and every Friday night. And coming up, their next big event is with the City of Gadsden Parks and Recreation Department. They are having their Toys for Tots tournament in Gadsden. Bring a toy or a $10 donation to support the Toys for Tots chapter of Etowah County. Sound like I was in New Hampshire there for a minute. Toys for Tots chapter of Etowah County. And if you want more information about that event and anything going on with USA Softball of Alabama, go to usasoftballofalabama.com and check that out. Back on again, once again on After the Game on this Football Friday night. And we got some highlights coming, Coach, from our friends down at WKRG, Channel 5 in Mobile. We got a couple of friends down there.
Got a few.
Got a few down there. And Gerhard Mathigani and folks down there doing a great job, providing us with some highlights last night of a 4A matchup between a local team here in East Alabama, the Handley Tigers, going down to take on the St. Michael Catholic Cardinals. And this St. Michael program, though all folks say, I've never heard of this school. They haven't been a school for very long, just for a couple of years. But they do have a guy you've heard of, Philip Rivers, is the head coach.
And
on
so
the
is
NFL.
quarterback.
His quarterback, you're going to hear a lot more about Gunner
Yes.
Rivers. They're getting things done down in Baldwin County.
Do you not have a perfect name? Gunner Rivers.
Sounds like a quarterback.
That sounds like a quarterback. It does. I mean, it really does. And that's a long way to go. That is a long way to travel from Roanoke, Alabama, almost to the ocean.
Well, St. Michael made the trip. Coach Rivers talked about this. He said, we had to go to Roanoke, Alabama last year. This year they came to us. Last year, when they came to Roanoke, Handley won the game. This year, St. Michael returned the favor. Let's take you to the highlights of this game. These are our highlights as we take you down to Volanta Park in Fairhope for these highlights between Handley and St. Michael. And that, of course, is you saw Philip Rivers and you saw also Gunner Rivers. And here you're seeing Handley quarterback Cordarian Patterson rolling out, picked off by St. Michael's Braden Smith with the interception. That's going to set up, you see Coach Rivers right there, that's going to set up Gunner Rivers to Tucker Tomlinson for the score. It is 7-0 St. Mary's. So we continue with our Jack State highlights from down in Fairhope last night. Later on in the first quarter, this is Rivers again, hitting Tomlinson again for another score, their second connection, and it's 14-0 St. Michael's. This is all in the first quarter down in Fairhope last night. That guy's wearing out that tuba in Fairhope. We come back, and there's Rivers again, this time moving again, hitting Noah Moss this time for the long score. That made it 28-7 St. Michael's as he kind of just jogs into the end zone there. Teammates greet him after that long touchdown. He's looking for somebody to throw the ball to here after that long touchdown run. And so basically he hands that to the official. There we go again, another long run here by Handley, as Handley is going to make some hay here later on in the game. A lot of points scored in the game, 103 as a matter of fact, but that was too little too late. Down to the 1 yard line goes Handley as they are going to punch this one in for the touchdown, as Handley brings it back closer, but it was certainly not enough. As the final last night, St. Michael Catholic, number 5 team in 4A, beating Handley last night 63-40. Coach Rivers, Coach Short has them going. They're 10-1. Maybe a dark horse, a team that you might that might can make some noise in Class 4A South this season.
Yeah, well, you know they've got a very prolific offense. I mean, his daddy did play a little bit in the NFL, knows a little bit about offense. But Handley is a very, very young football team. We saw him in the preseason talking about just how young he is. And when he's that young, don't think he's leaving, that they're going anywhere. Larry Stram will have them right back next year and probably on a deeper run. Yeah, a lot of good young talents. We bring it back here to the set. We were talking about the media day, the Tri-County Media Day, as we had that down in Wadley over the summer, and we saw some of those young players for the Handley Tigers. Obviously, they were good this year, but yes, more help is on the way. The thing that you always, when you watch Handley play, is like any team, how good is his offensive and defensive line going to be? And that's where his youth is at. And they won't be as youthful next year. So everybody better get all they can this year that they gotten, because next year they're going to be a whole lot better. Coach, we're taking a look at Class 1A and 2A. Let's go to the 3A, 4A brackets as we go back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets on this football Friday night. And we're going to start in Class 3A in this segment. We'll cover 3A and 4A, and then we will have the 3A and 4A. We'll start in the South with Class 3A. If we can get that up, we'll get that for you, I hope, in just a moment. Class 3A brackets, we begin in the South. Here it is right here. Montgomery Academy and Dadeville. I was a little bit surprised at this. Dadeville came in 3-7. Montgomery Academy was 9-1. The game was in Montgomery. MA was number 9 in the state in the final ASWA poll, but they only beat Dadeville tonight 26-19. Last night, Southside of Selma was a winner over Hillcrest Evergreen 36-35. Great game last night over in Selma. So next week it will be Southside of Selma. They will be traveling to Montgomery to take on Montgomery Academy. 10-1 will be Montgomery Academy, and now 9-2 Southside of Selma. Staying in the South in Class 3A, Glenwood, first year in the Athletic Association. Glenwood, I think that's wrong. I think they actually won the game. We've got 46-42. I think it was maybe 42-26 maybe was the score. We can check that. But I know Glenwood won the game. We'll double check that. Glenwood, a winner over Alabama Christian. So we'll check that and see. Double check that one. Bayside Academy out of Daphne, they beat Hale County. That was 36-6. So Bayside Academy, think getting Glenwood next week. That will be in Glenwood. We'll check that out and double check, make sure that's correct. Moving on to Class 3A, T.R. Miller was a winner over Thorsby tonight. Number 1 team in the state in Class 3A, beating Thorsby 49-7 tonight down at Bruton Municipal Stadium in Bruton. T.R. Miller now goes to 11-0. They'll get Trinity Presbyterian. We don't have that score there, but we know, because we had that on our score graphics, that Trinity Presbyterian won the game tonight over Randolph County in Wedowee, 65-42. Trinity 65, Randolph County 42. We don't have that up there graphically, but we'll get that for you. So Trinity Presbyterian and T.R. Miller, that game next week will be in Montgomery. T.R. Miller makes the trip up I-65 to Montgomery to take on Trinity Presbyterian. Staying in the South, Thomasville beat Excel tonight. This was a great game and a little bit of a surprise. Excel only 6-4. Thomasville was 10-0, ranked number 3 in the state coming in. Excel, the Panthers gave them all they wanted tonight in Thomasville. Thomasville wins it 34-30. Houston Academy tonight, a team that Coach Michael Short is high on, and I am too. Number 10 team in the state. If you're looking for some upsets in the South, watch Houston Academy. This is probably the best team Beulah's ever had.
And Houston Academy beat Beulah tonight in Dothan 62-13. So next week it will be Houston Academy. They will travel cross-state from Dothan to Thomasville to take on the Tigers.
That'll be a great game. That's going to be a great
game between Houston Academy and Thomasville. That might decide a lot of things in the South, along with T.R. Miller, of course.
Yeah, Commander.
Yeah, Commander. and Miles Johnson, the running back from T.R. Miller. Now let's come to the North. Highlights of this game coming. Piedmont tonight over Collinsville, 46-28. Piedmont, Lauderdale County, it seems like an annual meeting in the playoffs between the Tigers and the Bulldogs. Lauderdale County out of Rogersville beat Vinemont tonight 24-0 in Rogersville. Next week, Lauderdale County comes to Piedmont to take on the Bulldogs. They will play at the Field of Champions next Friday night. And, of course, Piedmont now moving to 11-0, the number 2 ranked team in the state. Lauderdale County is 8-3. We showed you the 5 highlights and the 5 score. Fyffe beat Ohatchee 66-30 last night. Gordo tonight beating T.M. Rogers out of Florence 41-13. So next week, this is a great matchup as well. Gordo comes cross-state, west to east, to take on the Fyffe Red Devils at Paul Benefield Stadium. Fyffe now 8-2, Gordo 10-1. That's a number 5 versus number 6 matchup in Class 3A. Also, Winfield, a winner over Colbert County, 44-14. Actually, I think that was 24-14 that Winfield won over Colbert County. We'll see if get that corrected. 24-14 Winfield over Colbert County. Sylvania beat Weaver. Weaver only down 7-0 at halftime, so a good showing by the Weaver Bearcats. Sylvania beat Weaver 27-9. So next week it will be Sylvania taking on Winfield at Winfield next week. Sylvania 9-2. Winfield goes to 10-1, the number 8 team in the state in Class 3A. Finally, in the North, a lot of folks talking about Mars Hill Bible out of Florence, and they should be. They beat Midfield tonight 69-40. Geraldine, look what they did to Locust Fork tonight. At Locust Fork, Geraldine wins it 60-13. So next week, that will actually be Geraldine at home. Geraldine will be at home because they were the visitor tonight. Geraldine will be at home taking on Mars Hill Bible. Mars Hill Bible coming from Florence to Geraldine. We'll get that corrected, but Geraldine will be hosting Mars Hill Bible next week in the 3A second round. We go to Class 4A. Fairfield tonight. They were a winner over Dale County down in Midland City, 33-21. W.S. Neal out of Bruton beat St. James tonight. A little bit of an upset down in Montgomery, 16-6. So next week that will be W.S. Neal taking on Fairfield, and that game will be played at W.S. Neal. They're the number 3 team. They were both visitors, but W.S. Neal was the number 3. Fairfield was the number 4. So that game will actually be at W.S. Neal. So
it'll be a crowded town.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big football going on. So again, that will be Fairfield traveling to W.S. Neal. We'll get that one corrected as well. Pleasant Grove tonight. They were a winner over Strawn, 61-21. As we showed you, St. Michael Catholic beat Handley, 63-40. So next week, what a game. This is a great game for the second round. This could be a semifinal game. St. Michael, number 5 team in the state, now 10-1, taking on Pleasant Grove. They're now 9-1, number 5 versus number 2 in Class 5A. That game will be in Jefferson County at Pleasant Grove. Also in the South, Jackson tonight, rolling over Bullitt County 55-0 at Legion Field in Jackson. Bibb County, the Choctaws tonight, winning at home against Opp 49-14. So next week it will be Bibb County traveling to play at Jackson. Jackson, the number 1 ranked team in 4A, they're 10-1. Bibb County, number 9 ranked, they are now 8-3. Finally, in the South end of the bracket, it was Tallahassee tonight beating Mobile Christian 21-14. Ashford beat Oak Grove 35-20 tonight down in Ashford in Henry County. So what we got is we've got Tallahassee and Ashford next week. That game is going to be played at Tallahassee. Tallahassee, the number 10 team in 4A, they're now 8-2. Ashford improves to 6-5. We come to North Alabama in Class 4A. Show you that bracket there. Cherokee County beat Westminster Christian 48-13. Central Florence went over Hamilton 70-13 tonight. Been hearing a lot of good things about this Central Florence team. So next week, Central Florence comes to Center to take on the Cherokee County Warriors. Central's now 9-2. Cherokee County 10-1. a sneaky good game here, possibly at Bobby Joe Johnson Field in Center next week. How about the Alexandria Valley Cubs winning tonight? They led 35-14 at one point, had to hang on to win 38-35 over North Jackson tonight, beating the number 8 ranked Chiefs in Stevenson tonight, and it was Brooks beating Dora 38-7. So again, next week,
black and orange.
Well, the game's going to be at Brooks.
At Brooks,
again,
yes. Yes.
This is we've got that incorrect. This will be Brooks and Alexandria. That will be played up at Killen, right outside of Florence next week.
Do you see how that ended?
38. Is that a field goal?
Yeah, but he lined up for a 37-yard field goal and missed it to end the game. And there was a defensive penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct, so it ended up being a 27-yard field goal, and he nailed it.
That's Queen Forest. Alexandria thought they were going to be at home. If Dora had won, that would have been the case, but Brooks instead wins at 38-7, so Alexandria travels to Brooks next Friday night. Good Hope tonight beat Hatton 42-12. Look at the Anniston Bulldogs showing out in the city of Huntsville tonight. They beat Randolph 40-12, so Anniston will be at home next week. They'll be at Watt Mosby Memorial Stadium taking on the Good Hope Raiders. Good Hope, the number 6 team in the state in Class 4A, they're 10-1. Anniston improves to 6-5, but they're in the second round. And finally, in the North, in Class 4A, a very good West Morgan team. They beat Fayette County tonight, 45-0 up in Trinity. Madison Academy beat Hokes Bluff tonight at Hokes Bluff, 28-7. And so next week it will be Madison Academy and West Morgan. That game, again, that game will be at Madison Academy. That game will be at Madison Academy as West Morgan was, Madison Academy was the visiting team. West Morgan will be on the road playing at Madison Academy, winning that game by a score of 28-7, the final score in that game. So there's the 3A and the 4A brackets. We will take a break and come right back with more high school football Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Anniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Noble Bank and Trust, they bring you our Noble Bank and Trust post-game presser each and every Friday night here on High School Football Alabama. Noble Bank, community-owned. What does that mean? Well, it means you're a person, a face, a name when you walk into one of their branches. You are more than an account number. All of the decisions are made locally, and they give back to their communities more than any bank their size. One-stop shop for checking, savings, business lines of credit, mortgages, personal and business. They do it all at Noble Bank and Trust. Let's tell you about our muscle team. It's time for our final Young Oil Grub Mart Muscle Team of the Year. And that muscle team is the Westbrook Christian Warriors offensive line. These guys, fantastic job this week. Let me tell you about those guys. 478 yards of total offense in that 47-24 win over Walter Welborn on the Hill. That included 281 yards rushing, 197 yards passing. They will get those beautiful black muscle team jerseys from Young Oil Grub Mart. Every one of those guys will get those. We'll get those on the way to Westbrook Christian. Westbrook Christian's offensive line, our Young Oil Grub Mart muscle team of the week. All right, Coach, bringing it back here to the set time for some more highlights coming up. Our cameras were over at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside. We were afraid after last week when Pell City beat Southside 45-7. We were kind of afraid that Mountain Brook, probably an even better football team than Pell City, coming in, that this was going to be a really tough game for Southside, and it was the exact same score, as a matter of fact, tonight, with Mountain Brook coming in and beating Southside 45-7.
When you play a Mountain Brook football team, not only do you have to be physical and be talented, but you got to be very smart because of all the things that they do, all the shifts and stuff that Coach Yeager does. I mean, he will drive you crazy. I'd hate to have been their defensive coordinator tonight just trying to get lined up against them.
And as you mentioned, that all goes back to discipline. This is a very disciplined Mountain Brook program. They're like this. Since Coach Yeager's been there, they've been very disciplined, well-coached football team.
Well, and they're that way in every sport. And it goes back to their GPAs are all probably 4.0, everybody there. And that's why they can do the things they do, because they are a very disciplined program, and they're very smart too, and they can do those type things.
We were there tonight at Barney Hood Stadium in Southside for this Class 6A matchup between Southside and Mountain Brook. So let's take you out there to the highlights of the game. The captains meeting there at midfield, Southside and Mountain Brook. Meeting in round one, here's Mountain Brook, first possession on offense. Whit Smith connecting with Sam Smith for the first down. Then a few plays later for Mountain Brook, it's Stuart Andrews. He gets the handoff, and another Spartans first down as he takes down the visiting sideline at Barney Hood Stadium. The Panthers hold the Spartans to a field goal. Number 30, Owen Roberts with the field goal, and the Spartans are up 3-0. Mountain Brook now later on in the quarter, they're back on offense, and Andrews is back to work as he takes another carry down the far sideline for another Mountain Brook first down. Then a few plays later, this is Smith. He's going deep to find number 19, Anthony Archie Andrews, for the touchdown. The extra point is good after this, and it is now 10-0 in favor of Mountain Brook over Southside. It was all Mountain Brook tonight. Andrews gets the handoff. Here's another Spartans first down. Again, taking it down the far sideline. Great run deep inside the red zone of the Southside Panthers. And a few plays later, Smith, he's going to go deep once again, finds Archie Andrews for another Spartan TD. Extra point is good after this touchdown, dragging the Southside player into the end zone, and it is 17-0. Ben Stewart did a great job at Southside this year, but it was not to be tonight as Mountain Brook, number 5 team in the state, improves to 8-3. They end Southside season tonight over at Barney Hood Stadium, 45-7.
Did I mention money also? If you noticed that film, I'm sure the first thing I noticed was every one of them have Guardian caps on. Not just the guys on the field, but everybody on the sidelines. Those are about $200 a piece. So they've got a lot of money too. And then you notice all the kids, that's their freshmen. They bring their freshman team, and people don't realize what classification they used to be in.
Yes, 7A.
7A, so they've dropped down, so they have an advantage. And they're also a football team that twice Oxford had to come back from 2 touchdowns to beat them. We might be seeing it. I'll be quiet. I won't say nothing.
When you get in 6A football, as we talked about with Danny Shears earlier, evidenced by Oxford and Hartselle next week down at Lamar Field. They all get tough from the second round on in Class 6A. That will be one of those great games. Mountain Brook, Clay Chalkville, 3 out of 4 in the Class 6A Region 6 won tonight. We're up to our third nominee now in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. You can vote beginning at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning at High School Football Alabama's Facebook page. We'll be open for 2 weeks for voting. You just go in there and like the team that you think or the game that you thought was the game of the year. Here's nominee number 3 now. This was another classic game. Hokes, Bluff, and Alexandria at midseason out at Death Valley in Alexandria. It looked like that the state-ranked Eagles were going to run away with this thing. They led it 27-14 deep into the fourth quarter. But then Alexandria scores a touchdown to cut it to 27-21. And then they get an onside kick. After that onside kick, they recover the onside kick, and they go down and they score the winning touchdown. Cleet Forrest, his foot, the difference again, like it was tonight up at North Jackson with the extra point, and the all-important extra point as Hokes Bluff loses to Alexandria. Alexandria won that game 28-27, a classic game out at Death Valley, Coach.
Yeah, and I always mention, everybody says, you always talk about kicking game. Look how many games tonight were won or lost, decided on a kick. Cleet makes a kick tonight. Pell City has an opportunity, misses an extra point, and then had a chance there at the end of the Pell City game to be able to kick a field goal to win it, but they had a penalty back to up, and they couldn't make it. It always comes down to that kicking game.
Again, 8 a.m. Tomorrow morning. You can vote all the way through November 22nd. On our last show, we'll announce who you selected as our Game of the Year. Still 2 more nominees to show to you later on in the show. We'll be back with more of After the Game in just a moment.
Who have you showed so far?
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
Your home is a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Anniston Orthopedics, the Saturday morning sports clinic every Saturday, 8 a.m. in their office at the Tyler Center in Anniston. You can see an orthopedic doctor, get x-rays. More importantly, they'll get you back in action, back on the field or the court as soon as possible. Don't worry about suffering during the weekend and think I got to wait till Monday. You don't need to do that. You go to the Saturday morning sports clinic right there at the Tyler Center in Anniston. Anniston Orthopedics handed out our last score shirts today up at JCA, presented by the folks at Anniston Orthopedics. Back on high school football, Alabama after the game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission. John Holder, Coach Michael Short, our entire hard-working team with us tonight. Chad Barnett is off on this football Friday night. I mentioned earlier that our crew was out and about last night up at Fyffe and Ohatchee, but my crew was out tonight, and one of the stops we had was the Field of Champions in Piedmont. The Bulldogs tonight taking on a team that they had not played. I think it's been 72 years since Piedmont and Collinsville had played each other in football, Coach.
That's a long time. You think they'd take, well, I guess classification-wise.
Yes. I mean, Collinsville was always a 1A.
Yes.
When I was in school, Piedmont was a 3A, sometimes a 4A. Collinsville just is really growing now. If they stay in the same classification, what I saw tonight might not be the last meeting between the Bulldogs and the Panthers. Collinsville's got a young team. Piedmont does as well. They're both coming on. Let's take you out to our highlights here. This is our Jack State highlights. So we're going to take you out to the Field of Champions in Piedmont. Yeah, they're champions. They're used to being here. There's their trophy case with all those blue maps. They're used to it. A lot of hardware there. We arrived, it was 14-14. As soon as we walked in the stadium, Cole Wilson with a 2-yard touchdown run. That broke the 14-14 tie and put Piedmont up 21-14. Partially blocked punt. This was a big play in the game. Special teams coach by Piedmont. This wound up being a 2-yard punt by Collinsville. And, of course, Piedmont right after what in essence was a turnover, making them pay. This is Wilson, a 29-yard pass to Raleigh Pinto, out of bounds at the Collinsville 5-yard line. Couple of plays later, big number 34, this is Brody Holmesley, a 2-yard touchdown run. The PAT was no good this time. The PAT was missed, and Piedmont's leads 27-14. This is Mason McAteer, good quarterback. Great run here for 14 yards, but a couple of plays later, the drive ended on a fumble by McAteer, McAteer, I should say. His fumble was covered there by Alondre Wright of Piedmont. And Piedmont, after a turnover, they make you pay, and they make you pay dearly. Here's Wilson, screen pass, Ishbethel, move, broken tackle, down the near sideline, 52 yards for the touchdown. Piedmont called timeout here. Jonathan Miller getting with Coach Bedwell over there, Kevin Bedwell. They decided to go for 2. Pinto, rare thing here, stopped for on the 2-point run. It was 33-14 at that point in time. The point here is, Coach, Piedmont, they're up 20 in the span of 6 minutes and 33 seconds, actually about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. They went from being tied 14-14. They went on a 19-0 run. That special teams play, that fumble, they turned both of those into touchdowns, and that kind of blew it open from being a 14-14 game to 33-14 at halftime. Piedmont goes on to win.
Every time I've seen them, which is about 4 times this year, they do as good as anybody around here in complementary football. Offense, defense, in their kicking game. They are very explosive on offense. They're not the largest team on defense, but they move around and they tackle well. And they cause turnovers. And if you can cause turnovers and you can have a great kicking game and you're explosive on offense, I mean, we're going to see them deeper and deeper. As long as they got some great games in front of them. Man, that Collinsville bunch we looked at, that's a young-looking group of guys that can play too.
Yeah, they are a lot of 10th graders. I've been hearing this, talked with some Collinsville folks tonight. A very good 10th grade class. They're going to be heard from up in DeKalb County. They gave Piedmont all they wanted at times tonight.
That's right.
But Piedmont, that playoff experience, not only for the players and the program, but Jonathan Miller, ton of playoff experience himself from his years at Sachs, and now bringing that to Piedmont. So lots of playoff experience there with the coaches and the players. And I think that's the big deal tonight was that playoff experience really showing through.
It does, and that little clip y'all had there, the most important clip you had there was that little room with all those trophies. That means something to that community and to all those young players and all those little ones, those kids out there playing, all those managers. I mean, they expect to win one.
And the thing about that is that trophy case, as you know, Coach, when you walk into, as visiting teams walk into the Field of Champions, the main gate,
Yeah.
that is the first thing they see. I don't think that's an accident.
No, it didn't just happen to get there. It's for you to see and for you to understand, wow, they know what they're doing. And the kids play that way. Every time you go there, they play that way. Nothing they do, from feeding people, from the booster club, everything they do is on a championship level. And that's why they're the Field of Champions.
Absolutely. Red Threads, we've been mentioning Red Threads, bringing you our Stay Put preview box all season long, where you see some of the things, good and bad, funny, whatever. You're probably wondering, what are those people doing during the break? You get to see that with our Red Threads Stay Put preview box. Red Threads on the square in Jacksonville, powered by O-Brand. They've got a great storefront, but they supply all of our Anston Orthopedic score shirts, our Young Oil Grub Mart Muscle Team shirts, and they do a great job. Go by and see them on the square in Jacksonville. They've got great Jack State and high school merchandise. Red Threads, powered by O-Brand. Back with more scores and highlights and brackets still to come as we roll on a football Friday night.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand. The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you. But when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Madison Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Aniston Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008. We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Gym, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Johnson's Giant Food. By the way, we're going to announce our concession stand of the year coming up on our last show of the year, coming up on November 22nd. We have our 11 nominees, so to speak. They all received $100 gift cards from Johnson's Giant Food. And listen, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of not only high school football, but college football as well. You want to tailgate at these big high school and college games, Johnson's has the answer to your football tailgating needs. Their deli has everything you need. They've got the meat department, everything you need for grilling out. The tailgate food, it's all there. The hot deli, open daily with a full hot bar. Johnson's Giant Food, 5 locations to serve you in Etowah and Calhoun counties. East Gadsden, downtown Gadsden, Attala, also in Coldwater and in Jacksonville. Johnson's Giant Food. Let's talk about the Spring Garden Panthers, one of those teams that's now 11-0, a region champion. Coach Short, they were at home tonight at Spring Garden. Had a chance to, me personally, check them out for the first time this year. You've seen them play, but I had not seen them play in person this year. Another local game. Had 2 games here in East Alabama involving local teams playing each other. Victory Christian coming in. As you know, Matt Griffith did a great job coaching over there his first year. Former Sylacauga head coach, Hokes Bluff player, Jack State player, doing a good job over at Victory. They were really well coached tonight. The folks in Spring Garden wanted me to say that, how hard that Victory played tonight. But Spring Garden, as we'll see here in the highlights in just a moment, Coach, their running game is, it may be as good as I've ever, and Spring Garden loves to run the football. This may be a powerful running game as I've ever seen Spring Garden have, because the time I was there in the first quarter, they rolled 3 different running backs out, and they were all pretty much interchangeable.
Yeah, and I think what that does for them is it gives them more depth than what most people have in that classification, and they're able to play all those guys. But that great running game allows them to have that play-action pass, and they can hit you. You know, if you throw 8 passes a game or 10, and 6 of them are big catches for explosive plays, I mean, I see some matchups on down the line. I'm not going to rat poison anybody, but there's going to be a great matchup here before long.
Couple weeks, maybe a team down in Randolph County, maybe a team from Cherokee County, 2 local teams playing each other.
Maybe they can just get a place halfway in between and do it that way, just meet.
All right, let's take you out. We got more highlights coming your way as we take you out to Spring Garden. Jason Howard Field out there. You see the crowd cheering on the Panthers. They walk in the stadium arm in arm, walk through the sign, right into your camera right there. This is Spring Garden early on. Connor Bates ripping off one of those great running backs. Look at these runs here. Just running over people, dragging tacklers, a 15-yard run. Then they bring another running back in. This is Clayton Sadler. Sadler with a 31-yard run. Takes it deep down into Victory Christian territory. Again, dragging tacklers along the way here in our team sports highlights. Then here's another guy, Zane Edwards, a 14-yard touchdown run. The PAT was no good, but Spring Garden led it 6-0. It took 3 plays, their first drive, 3 plays to find the end zone. But then it only took 1 play for Victory Christian. This is their outstanding quarterback, Shepard Sargent, fooled everybody. Fooled me. I was looking down the field, and there he goes running by me. 60-yard touchdown run. Victory kicks the extra point, and they lead Spring Garden 7-6. But again, that didn't last for long, because here's another great running back. This is Jonathan Baker, a 75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, bringing it all the way right in front of us on the Spring Garden sideline. The 2-point run was no good for Spring Garden on the 2-point conversion. It was 12-7 Spring Garden. 4th and 1 at the Spring Garden 45. There's Sargent again with a 2-yard sneak for the first down. Then another 4th down conversion by Victory at the Spring Garden 35. 4th and 2, Sargent with a 4-yard run up the middle. But then there was their 3rd 4th down conversion. You see here, Coach Ragsdale talking to his team. This one, though, was 4th and 6 at the Spring Garden 27. Sargent with an incomplete pass. And then we see another run. Here comes Bates again. A 19-yard run this time. That was kind of the theme of the night. Spring Garden rolling tonight, Coach, as the number 3 ranked Panthers beat Victory Christian 54-21. Berry Wildcats come in, a 10-1 team next Friday night to Spring Garden.
I hope I'm not throwing any rat poison out there, but they better be ready, because that may be a better game than most people think.
Yes, Berry's a very good team, probably the class of that region over in West Alabama. Certainly Spring Garden, the class of the region over in East Alabama. That region they're in, the region title winners. This is going to be one of the better matchups in Class 1A in the entire state coming up next week.
It is, and I think as I've been looking at all the classifications and as we go through all of them, there's going to be some great matchups next week, probably as good as we've had in a long time in the second round.
Second round, yeah.
And because that's second round games, it's be about half and half. But we've got more great matchups this week. A lot of blue bloods in there again. It's going to be a great week of football next week.
We are up to our 4th nominee in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year, and you're going to choose it starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Going to High School Football Alabama's Facebook page, you're going to choose that winner of this Game of the Year. So we got 5 nominees that we picked out, 5 games. Here is coming up nominee number 4. This is Glencoe at Sachs at Jack Stewart Field in Sachs back in October. This was a back and forth game. Glencoe dominated. Then Sachs dominated for a while. Then Glencoe dominated again. Then Sachs took the lead late in the fourth quarter, 28-26. But then it was Glencoe scoring with just over a minute to go in the ball game, and they come from behind and they beat the Sachs Wildcats in that game at Jack Stewart Field by a score of 28-26. One of the more thrilling games played in East Alabama, and that's nominee number 4 in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. Still got one more to show you of our 5 nominees for our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. Right now, we're up to another extra point of the night. And this is presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. Next week's second round Class 6A playoff game between Oxford and Hartselle will be the 5th meeting between the Yellow Jackets and Tigers. The series between 2 of the most successful programs in state history is tied at 2-2. Oxford won the first 2 meetings, which were playoff games in 1982 and 1996. Hartselle has won the last 2 meetings, which were regular season matchups in 2022 and last year in 2023. Sounds like maybe the game of the week at Lamar Field next Friday night.
It very well could be. And you know something else? They play each other in baseball too a couple of times.
Even bigger games in baseball in the last several years between Oxford and Hartselle. Even though those 2 schools are over 100 miles apart, big rivalry there between the Tigers and the Yellow Jackets. We'll be back with more of After the Game in just a moment.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule.
So where did she find all that? Right here at RMC.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Wow, these guys are everywhere. I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
We stand for Mother Nature. Home sweet home. The best you. Sunsets with friends. Hustle. Art that lasts. Life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
I had the chance this week to check out McClellan Sports and Outdoors out at McClellan in there this week. Just a beautiful facility with great sporting goods. Go to McClellansports.com. They not only have everything you need as far as sporting goods, they've got apparel, jerseys, accessories, equipment, scorebooks, basketball goals, tackling dummies. They're locally and family owned and operated, been in business for 15 years. Visit their store at 135 Exchange Avenue in Anniston. That's right across from the Longleaf Lodge, right there by the duck pond, just across the street from the Aquatic Center. I'm giving you 3 landmarks, easy to find right there on McClellan on Galloway Gate Road. So go by and, it's Summerall Gate Road, and go by and check them out at Team Sports, bringing you our highlights on this football Friday night. Back on high school football, Alabama's after the game on this football Friday night. John Holder, Michael Short with you. Chad Barnett has the evening off. It is time for our Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Game of the Week. Our Game of the Week, a historic game at Raider Field in Pleasant Valley. For the first time in 40 years, Pleasant Valley hosting a playoff game. Here's Jordan Smith and Michael Short from out at Pleasant Valley.
It's time now for the Judd Edwards State Farm Insurance Agent Game of the Week. Jordan Smith, Coach Michael Short with you here. Coach, it was a great atmosphere here tonight at Pleasant Valley as they hosted their first playoff game since 1984.
Yeah, it was a great crowd. We saw that early coming in. It was hard enough just to get a parking place, and a great crowd. But you could also tell that you knew that it had been a long time since they'd hosted a playoff game, and you could see that in the kids' eyes. I mean, their kids were big as 50-cent pieces, and that's the way they played early. And a lot of times in a playoff game like this, especially a first-round ball game at home, you get behind early, it's hard to dig out of a deep hole as they dug themselves.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Pleasant Valley Raiders did fall here tonight in the first round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association playoffs in Class 2A to Sulligent 56-22. But you got to give it hats off to the Raiders. I mean, they fought to the very end, to the last whistle.
Well, there's a process, and Coach Nix knows that. He does a great job here at Pleasant Valley. Doesn't sometimes have the athletes that other people have. Still come out and won 8 ball games this year, and that's unheard of. So they have changed the culture here. Now they've got to get these kids to believe that they can get in and win a first-round playoff game, because it's a process. You just don't come in and go to the finals.
Yeah, and even at the end of the first quarter, they recognized that 1984 team that hosted the last playoff game here. And so that was special, and you know some of those guys.
I do. Coach Altman was one of my former coaches at Cleveland County, and he was from here. I hired him, and they were one of the first teams. So you could tell the people in the crowd here still love that group too, because they got a loud applause there when they come out on the field. So that was special for them too.
Yeah, and when we first got here, you mentioned the crowd. I mean, I looked across the crowd right before the coin toss, and just the amount of people were here. And then, of course, Pleasant Valley comes down the bleachers as well, and in the amongst of the crowd. So it was really a really cool experience.
It was, but again, they have to get to the point where it's not too big for them. They got to be able to play where their feet are. And I know Coach will do that, because now they've got the experience of being there. And there's nothing like experience, especially playoff experience.
Yeah, so let's head over to the highlights.
The Pleasant Valley Raiders are looking to make it to the second round of the playoffs for the first time ever and make history by winning 9 games in a season. First drive for Sulligent. Quarterback John Will Sproul calls his own number, bounces off the pile, and he's going to get a first down for the Blue Devils. Next play, Sproul keeps it again, this time angling toward the sideline, and he's going to take it all the way down to the sideline for a touchdown. Blue Devils elect to go for 2. Sproul will hand off here to Andrew Lowe, and he's going to find a hole for a 2-point conversion. Blue Devils go up 8-0. Raiders now with the ball. Quarterback Jaden Sparks rolls to his left, looks downfield, and finds Cooper Dougal for a 15-yard pickup. Now 4th down. Sparks' punt would be blocked and picked up by Wyatt Sadlin, and he will pick up this football and score for the Blue Devils. Again, they're going to go for 2 here. Sproul will keep it and knock his way across the goal line. Sulligent goes up 16-0. The Pleasant Valley Raiders are desperately looking to answer on their next drive. Sparks drops back. He thinks about running. He's going to pass it off to Hunter Sparks for a first down near the Sulligent 37-yard line. Next play, Sparks rolls back again, this time looking to go deep downfield, but will be picked off by Hagen Gann for the Blue Devils. Sulligent now back with the ball. Lowe gets the handoff, spins off a tackle, angles towards the sideline, and he's going to pick up a first down before being ran out of bounds. Now 3rd and 17. Sproul hits Lowe on the screen pass. He's going to weave through traffic and pick up the first down and much more, and he's going to take it all the way in for a Blue Raiders touchdown. Sulligent going to go for 2 once again. Sproul on the keeper, just like before, and he's going to knock it in. Sulligent goes up 24-0 at this point on the ensuing kickoff from Will Chisholm. He would be fielded by Dougal around the 10-yard line. He's going to reverse field and activate the burners up the sideline, and he's going to take it all the way in for a Pleasant Valley Raider touchdown. And now the Raiders will have to go for 2. Sparks fields the high snap here. He's going to roll out, and he's going to find Noah Johnson in the back of the end zone. It makes it 24-8 at this point. A few drives later for Coach Jonathan Nix and his Pleasant Valley Raiders. Sparks is going to roll out to his right here. He's going to throw it deep downfield, and he's going to find Hunter Sparks once again before being knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Next play, Sparks is going to hand off to Caden Vick, who's going to toss it back to Dougal, and Dougal's going to look to pass, and he's going to throw it way downfield here in the back of the end zone to find Braxton Salter for a touchdown. Once again, going for 2, Sparks is going to roll out, fake the handoff. He's going to throw it into the back of the end zone. It's going to be tipped, and it's going to fall in the hand of Dougal. The Raiders would trail 32-16 at this point, and the Raiders would fall to the Blue Devils 56-22. We're joined now by the head coach of the Pleasant Valley Raiders, Jonathan Nix, and some players. Coach, obviously it wasn't the turnout that you wanted here tonight, but you had a great season, a historic season, especially here tonight, hosting your first playoff game since 1984. And tell us a little bit about that, and then the guys you got here.
Definitely. You know, tonight was not, it was not the outcome that we wanted at all. But, you know, I don't want to take anything away from this season and these players and these coaches and how much they poured in to get this opportunity. And, you know, we just talked about, like, we have 5 seniors on the team. And so our team is led by a lot of young kids. And so we have so much coming back on next year's team. And, you know, we've been talking about setting these unrealistic goals to the outside. And so nobody believed that we would be here hosting this game, and yet we are here. And a lot of reason that we're here is because of the belief of these guys and their teammates and what they instill. And so, you know, tonight didn't go our way. It didn't. But what they did is a seed is being planted, and this seed is about to grow next year. And so we've got so much coming back. And these two right here, Jaden and Braxton, they're leaders on the team. They love the weight room. And, you know, and they sit there and they said, you know what, Coach, our goal next year is to go 10-0 in the regular season. We want to be the #1 seed. And so leadership like that's hard to come by, and the reason we're here is because of players like this.
Coach, when I first got here, it was already crowded. You got to go ahead and say something about this crowd tonight. They were all up on top of that hill, and they were very loud tonight, too. Even to start the game all the way up to halftime, they were still in the ball game.
They were, and you know, and our players, like, I mean, you could tell, like, in this environment here, you know, they enjoyed it, but a lot of times, like at the first of the game, we just got to be simple and be where our feet were, and I think we tried to do too much too early, and they were able to execute at basic stuff. There were so many times that we had running backs in the backfield and just couldn't get them down, and hats off to their running game, you know, but some of that is on us being able to finish, and that's something us coaches got to do a better job. We got to get the kids stronger, faster when we face teams like that we're able to get them better, you know, get them down to the ground and you know, get off the field on that. And so, but you know, all in all, look, our kids didn't give up, our kids fought, and I'm so proud of these guys. And I told them before the game, I said, leave no regrets, because this community, everybody's so proud of you, and look what you're going to do in the future.
Guys, it's a process. You've got to get here before you can get to that second round, and it's just a process of doing it, and y'all took that first step tonight.
Yeah, and you guys got a couple more years here, to play next year for sure. Talk a little bit about the season in itself and how it prepares you for the next season.
I mean, I've been here since the 8th grade. I've seen teams develop over time. I mean, my first year here, like Coach has said, we set unrealistic goals. My first year here, we were in the mentality of let's just go to the playoffs, and we missed by one game. My 9th grade year, we set the goal, let's host a playoff game, missed it by one game, traveled to Pisgah, and then this year, let's host a playoff game, and we did. We set our goal, we made our goal, and we hosted here. And we're losing 5 seniors, we're losing 5 great seniors too. I mean, they're great leaders, but we have so much coming back, and they're just setting the mentality of what Pleasant Valley football is supposed to be. I mean, every year, 8th grade to now, each team has just gotten better. Like, one step ahead, and we're setting goals, and we're meeting those goals. So I mean, the seniors are just doing a great job with hey guys, this is the bare minimum that we got to do. Y'all got to go exceed this, and I mean, they're just doing a great job, and we're going to come back next year. And like Coach said, I mean, the goal's 10-0, host a playoff game, be 1 seed, host a 4 seed, and then next year we'll go to the second round. So I mean, they're just doing a great job leading us in the right way.
Kind of like Braxton said, I started very young, 8th grade. I started when we weren't very good. We were 1-9 my 8th grade year, and I've seen us kind of grow up from there. We started setting goals, hey, let's win 5 games, and then we said, hey, let's make it to the playoffs, and then let's host a playoff game, and here we are. The game didn't go how we wanted to, but we worked all the way from my 8th grade year. We've been building up to this. We've got to this point. Now we're looking into it. We go into the offseason with our nice weight room. We want to get in the weight room. We want to win. We're setting that mindset now that next year we're going to host a 4 seed here. We're going to be right back here. That's the mindset.
Well, Coach, congratulations to me on a great season. Just keep grinding, partner.
That's it. Go to work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan, and Coach Short. Coach back on the set here. A lot of history out there tonight, though. I know the loss by Pleasant Valley, that's going to sting for a while, but as they say, in a couple of weeks, these guys are going to realize that they tied the all-time school record for wins. That had been set 40 years ago. They hosted a home playoff game for the first time in 40 years. A lot of good things that happened, runner-up in their region. And as you told me, Pleasant Valley is here to stay because not a lot of guys leaving this team for next year.
Yeah, of course, the seniors did a great job and did what they were asked to do. But a lot of their juniors and sophomores have kind of been the ones that did a lot of the playing. And, you have to, it's a process. You've got to be able to get there before you can move on. You just don't all of a sudden just show up and go to the state finals. It's a process of getting there, not only for the players, but for the coaches and the community. You got to set your standards high, and that's what they're doing, and they've met one of those goals this year. It's not just a one-hit wonder. I think they're here to stay for a while.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations to Coach Nix and the Raiders on a great 2024 season. We'll be back with more of After the Game, presented by the Calhoun County Commission, as we roll on a Football Friday night.
At Jacksonville State University, the journey starts with you. It begins with your ambition, your curiosity, your dreams. Here, you forge your own path. You have the power to make a difference, explore new horizons, and turn your passions into your future. At Jack State, we journey forward together. The journey starts with you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
As a social worker, my cousin devotes her career to helping others. But when she was diagnosed with cancer, she was the one who needed help. She needed a hospital with an accredited cancer program and the latest in technology and care options. Plus, a compassionate team of doctors, nurses, and counselors with treatments that fit her schedule.
So where did she find all that? Right here at RMC.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shoes, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Jacksonville State bringing you our highlights this year. More Jack State highlights on the way, as a matter of fact. Exciting things happening at Jacksonville State University. New state-of-the-art facilities, modernized buildings, upgraded amenities. Jack State is creating a dynamic environment that enhances both learning and living. They have cutting-edge academic spaces, vibrant student hubs. Every aspect of the campus is designed to support student success and well-being. There has never been a better time to be a Gamecock. Come see the growth for yourself at Jacksonville State University, the friendliest campus in the South. Schedule your visit at jsu.edu/visit. It is time for our last Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week of the season, and our last jersey that we're going to give out, personalized jersey from Team Sports, and also our very last plaque that we're going to give out for awards to remember goes to Zay English of Jacksonville High School. Last week in that thrilling 28-24 win on the road at Anniston, he had 267 yards of total offense and 4 touchdowns. That included 172 yards rushing and 95 yards receiving. Congratulations to Zay English of Jacksonville, our last Farmers and Merchants Bank Player of the Week. Back on high school football, Alabama's after the game on this football Friday night. Coach, an interesting game. I think I told you maybe earlier that the most interesting game to me tonight here in East Alabama was this game in Class 4A between Hokes Bluff and Madison Academy. That game out at Hokes Bluff. Last year, they played in the first round of the playoffs at Madison Academy in 3A. And Madison Academy had their way, winning at 57-20. They went on to the state championship game in Class 3A. So they both move up to 4A. This time the game's at Hokes Bluff. Madison Academy not quite as good as they were last year. Hokes Bluff a lot better than they were last year. But in the end, it was the same result. Hokes Bluff, the only team out of Class 4A Region 6 to lose tonight against a tradition-rich Madison Academy team.
Yeah, you made the point, the tradition-rich, because they've been there. I'm sure they got a trophy case themselves of all the trophies they've had over the years, and just now was in it last year. So those kids know what it takes to get there also.
Let's take you out to Mike Robertson Stadium at Hokes Bluff as we go out and look at the highlights of this game. When we arrived, it was halftime. It was already 28-0 Madison Academy. Trouble strikes for the Mustangs. A high snap turns it over to the Eagles. And on 4th and 1, Bryce Whitaker, the quarterback, gets the first down for Hokes Bluff. A couple of plays later, Whitaker calls his own number, takes it to the house to put the Eagles on the board. Number 56, Leon Chen, great player at a number of positions for Hokes Bluff, including at place kicker for the Eagles. He puts the extra point up and good. There it is from Leon Chen, and the Eagles trail 28-7. But that would be the final score. That's all she wrote. The Mustangs wind the clock down. Joshua Williams gets the last first down of the game for Madison Academy as they run out the clock. See Coach Mike Robertson there, Coach Rob coming over to shake hands and Madison Academy comes in 28-7 over Hokes Bluff. I was a little bit surprised in a way, Coach, but not really. Madison Academy, I guess the surprising part, not that Madison Academy won, but I was surprised that they were up 28-0 at the half.
Yeah, and that just tells me that Hokes Bluff actually did a pretty good job themselves the second half by shutting them out. I mean, they didn't let them score, and they scored 7, so they won the second half 7-0.
It's weird how they finished third in that Class 4A Region 8.
Yes.
And Randolph finished ahead of them. North Jackson finished ahead of them. But Anniston and Alexandria went on the road and beat those two teams. Yet Hokes Bluff, losing at home by 3 touchdowns to Madison Academy. This is a great example, Coach, of why you play the games.
Why you play the game, and another example of what time of the year did they play. I don't know that part, because a lot of teams can get better and better. Just like, Weaver earlier this year, they got better and better this year. Madison Academy could have played those other two teams early in the year, and that may be why we're seeing what we see out of them. They may be peaking at the right time.
Let's go now to our next set of brackets. This is our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. We will go to Class 5A now, and we'll tell you that Montgomery Catholic tonight was a winner over Holtville, 52-0 down in Montgomery. Citronelle comes to Columbiana. They beat a pretty good Shelby County team, 14-0. So next week, number 1 ranked, 10-0, Montgomery Catholic travels to Mobile County to Citronelle to take on the Wildcats. Staying in the South, we'll have highlights of this game still to come. Central of Clay County, 49-0 over a proud Greenville Tiger program. In a long time since Greenville has lost a game 49-0, especially in the playoffs. And a kind of a dream matchup next week. Williamson, great football team from Mobile. They beat Northside out of Tuscaloosa County from the Samantha community 46-0. So next week, Williamson, the Lions, number 8 team in the state, 10-1, coming to play number 2 Central of Clay County. They are 11-0. Huge matchup next week at Volunteer Stadium. Staying in the South, number 5, C.F. Viger Pritchard had their way with Sipsey Valley out of the Bull community over in Tuscaloosa County, 46-0 tonight down in Mobile. Eufaula tonight comes in and mild upset. They beat Beauregard tonight 30-20. So next week it will be Viger. They will travel to play at Eufaula. Long road trip for the Wolves. Viger now 10-1. Eufaula improved with that win tonight over Beauregard to 6-5. Also in the South, UMS Wright went on the road up Highway 43. They beat Demopolis tonight 21-7. They will get Andalusia. Andalusia beat Elmore County tonight 27-7. So next week it will be Andalusia traveling to Mobile to take on UMS Wright Prep. UMS, with that win tonight, improved to 5-6. Andalusia only 7-4. Again, though, that's why we play the games. We come to the north in Class 5A. Moody all over Arab tonight, 49-7 over at Moody. Winona, this was one of the best games in the state tonight. Winona, back and forth game, beat Russellville at Russellville 30-28. So next week it will be Moody, not going very far. They'll go into the city of Birmingham to take on the Winona Dragons. Moody now 9-2. Winona is 8-3. Scottsboro beating the Jacksonville Golden Eagles 49-13 tonight. Ramsey hammered Ardmore to 47-0. So next week, pretty good matchup here. Ramsey out of Birmingham, tradition-rich team in the last several years. They're 7-3, going in to take on number 10 Scottsboro at Trammell Stadium. The Wildcats now 9-2. Also next week, I don't think a lot of folks saw this matchup coming in the second round. Corner tonight beat Lawrence County of Moulton 49-35. Boaz tonight beating Centerpoint 29-8. Boaz playing some great football right now. So it will be Boaz. They will be traveling to play at Corner next week in the Corner of Jefferson County. Corner is now 10-1. Boaz improves to 9-2. Our final game next week in Class 5A in the north will feature Fairview and Leeds. This could be a pretty good game as well. Fairview beat Carver of Birmingham tonight 15-12. Leeds beat Gunnersville. That's a Gunnersville team that at one time was ranked number 1 in the state. Leeds beat them tonight 35-18. So next week it will be Leeds traveling to take on Fairview. Leeds is 8-3, ranked number 9 in the state. Fairview is 10-0 and ranked number 3 in the final ASWA poll. Fairview and Leeds traveling up to Coleman County to take on the Fairview Aggies next Friday night. We'll be back. We got more highlights still to come, more brackets still to come as we roll on this Football Friday night.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
Your home is a reflection of you.
We understand that. That's why we'll personally help guide you through the process of product selection, finance, and installation. We have an extensive selection of designer tile, stone, carpet, laminate, hardwood, cabinets, and outdoor products, all with industry-leading quality.
Let us help you choose the perfect touches for your entire home. We offer free in-home estimates and design consultations.
Visit us today at Ted's Floors and Beyond.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anderson Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated. Dedicated to what moves you.
Addison Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
Young Oil Grub Mart, we mentioned our Grub Mart Young Oil Muscle Team. Westbrook Christian Warriors this week, our last muscle team of the year. Grub Mart, though, not going anywhere. They got locations all across East Alabama, Cherokee, Calhoun, Etowah. They are in Lee County. They're all up and down, basically that 431 corridor and beyond. Check out their Super Saver car. They have marathon rewards, saving you money on gas. And they got great quality fuel. They are famous for their bags of ice. They've got the Oleo donuts at the Jacksonville location. And everything you need for your football needs, whether college or high school, on those Friday nights, drop by and see the folks at Young Oil Grub Mart. One of the most impressive victories tonight, not only here in East Alabama, but around the state. And we shouldn't be surprised by this, and we're not. Central Clay County at home tonight at Volunteer Stadium, taking on the Greenville Tigers. If you've been watching football in this state, Coach, for the last 30 years, Greenville is, I think, a blue blood, one of the most powerful programs, a household name, I think, in 5A football. So not surprised at all that Central Clay beat them. But I can't remember in the playoffs for sure anybody doing to Greenville what Central Clay did to them tonight down at Volunteer Stadium.
He's probably a little bit mad because Coach Horn spent the whole week, last week as the off week, studying somebody else, and they were ready to play somebody else and then have to change all of a sudden, as he said this week, and had to completely just start over. He wasn't happy with that, and I'm sure his team wasn't either, and they kind of took it out on the Greenville Tigers.
Coach Danny Horn's team always peaks at playoff time. Let's take you down to Clay County to Volunteer Stadium for the highlights of this route. And there's the man himself, Coach Danny Horn, patrolling the sidelines. Here come the Vols. Tommy Wood, our colleague, does a great job with the fan atmosphere down there. First drive, this is Soap Gibbons, a pass to Caden Glenn, 17 yards. Damian Boyd with a handoff, a 12-yard first down run. A few plays later, Boyd again from 5 yards out. Got to take this in for a touchdown. And then there's going to be a 2-point conversion here for Clay Central. There's the touchdown, as you see, and there's the 2-point conversion. There's going to be Gibbons again as they go for 2. Kevin Cherry with a handoff gets it across the goal line. It's 8-0 Vols. Next drive for Central Clay. Gibbons fakes the handoff, gives it to Damari Whetstone, big guy. First down inside the 15-yard line. Here's Soap Gibbons, pump fakes, throws it downfield. Tyler Boyd in the end zone. Extra point good, 15-0 Clay Central. And then there's the Vol team right there gathering around Coach Horn, giving those instructions out at Volunteer Stadium. Clay Central with the ball back. Boyd with the break, breaks the tackle, takes it all the way down to the 11-yard line. Stiff arm at the end against the Greenville Tigers. Then on the next play, here's Soap Gibbons again. Drops back, connects with J.T. Wilkerson in the end zone for the touchdown. 22-0 at that point. Early on, Clay Central rolls 49-0 over Greenville. We were down at the Tri-County Media Day in Wadley at Southern Union back in the summer, Coach, and those young men from Clay Central were just so impressive in talking about their coach, talking about their program, their love for Clay Central. And I tell you what makes this team dangerous. I'm looking forward to seeing them play, maybe even next week. Soap Gibbons at quarterback. Soap Gibbons, they've got now a guy that can not only run the football, but a guy that can throw the football, and he's got a lot of speed. You put in an offense, Coach, as you know better than anybody, in an offense like Danny Horn runs, which is very multiple, wishbone, spread, he can do it all. And then you put a quarterback like that guy, like Soap Gibbons there, it's special what they're doing offensively down there.
It makes a difference, and for them what's so hard is he can take 11 guys, and he can run the wishbone, he can run the spread, he can have tight ends, no tight ends, and a lot of people like to, sub people in and out against their formations. You don't get the sub because it's the same people running the same formation. So that's how it is so hard. But have you seen their offensive line?
Oh, they're massive.
They're massive.
And they're still young.
But, yeah, I know that. And that's why we kept at number 1 all year on our power polls. And that's why I've been saying just wait and see. They're going to have some challenges ahead of them. But I tell you what, to get behind that offensive line, and they can throw it when they want to. But golly, their offensive line is so big for high school football, and they're strong and they're athletic.
Yeah, Gibbons, Boyd, Wilkerson, Cherry. You saw all those guys, Whetstone. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons, passing game, running game. They can do a lot. Greenville found out the hard way tonight, 49 points, long trip back down below Montgomery to Butler County for the Tigers. Let's go back to our brackets now. It's our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets. We are going to pick up now in Class 6A during this segment. So let's go to our 6A brackets right now. And as always, we're going to begin in the South. Pike Road tonight was a winner over Bessemer City down in Metro Montgomery, 37-7. St. Paul's Episcopal came to Helena. This is an impressive win. Helena, not a bad football team. St. Paul's beat them 26-0. So next week, Pike Road travels to Mobile to take on St. Paul's Episcopal. Also, staying in the South, Hueytown had some trouble with Percy Julian tonight, 28-21. That is the former Leah Montgomery. They get Spanish Fort. Spanish Fort beat Ben Russell tonight out of Alex City. That game was down in Baldwin County at Spanish Fort. The Toros win the game 49-35. So next week, this is an interesting matchup. Yes, Spanish Fort comes all the way to Hueytown. Hueytown is now 8-3. Spanish Fort goes to 9-2, ranked number 9 in the last ASWA poll. Last night, Saraland all over Chelsea 42-3, the number one team in the state. They were in the Super 7 last year. McAdory and Wetumpka had a battle tonight over in McCalla. McAdory won the game over the Indians 24-23. So next week it will be McAdory making the long trip from Jefferson County to Mobile County to take on the Spartans. Saraland, number one, ranked 11-0. McAdory goes to 8-2. Finally in the South, Spain Park. This is a sneaky team. Spain Park is 11-0, folks, ranked number 4 in the state. They beat McGill 2 out of Mobile tonight, 44-35. Russell County beat Northridge of Tuscaloosa 42-25 tonight down in Seal at Russell County. So next week, Russell County goes into Hoover to take on Spain Park. The Jaguars, as we said, 11-0. Russell County is 9-2. Now we come to North Alabama, the matchup we've been talking about. Oxford beat Buckhorn tonight at Lamar Field, 42-0. Look at what Hartselle did to the Minor Tenacious Tigers tonight, 64-7 at J.P. Kane Stadium in Hartselle. Next week, Oxford and Hartselle one more time. Third time in 3 years they're playing each other. This will be at Lamar Field in Oxford. Oxford, number 3, ranked 11-0. Hartselle, number 10, ranked 9-2. A classic next week at Lamar Field. Staying in the North, tonight, another great game. Coach described it to you earlier. Fort Payne beats Pell City 24-23. They were the only team in Class 6A Region 8 that won tonight. They will get Homewood. Homewood beating Athens. Two really good teams tonight over at Waldrop Stadium in Homewood. Homewood wins it 31-24. Next week, it will be Homewood traveling up I-59 to take on the Fort Payne Wildcats. Fort Payne 9-2. Homewood 9-2, ranked number 7 in the final poll. They met earlier in the year, and I believe Parker won the game 14-0. Parker beats Coleman tonight in Birmingham, 35-0. Mountain Brook, you saw the highlights earlier, beating Southside 45-7 at Southside. So a rematch of a regular season game. This will be Parker out of Birmingham traveling over the mountain to take on the Mountain Brook Spartans. Parker 10-1, ranked number 2 in the state. Mountain Brook number 5. They are now 8-3. As we said, Parker won the first time 14-0. And the final game in Class 6A, Muscle Shoals blasting Mortimer Jordan tonight up in the Shoals 52-7. Clay Chalkville takes care of Gadsden City tonight at Clay 33-3. This could be an interesting matchup. I've seen Muscle Shoals play. Clay Chalkville makes the trip to Muscle Shoals again. Seems like they play every year in the playoffs. They're playing each other in the second round this year. Muscle Shoals, number 8, they are 8-2. And Clay Chalkville is now 9-2, ranked number 6 in the final poll. It is time now for our last extra point of the night, presented by State Representative Randy Wood out of District 36. Spring Garden completed their first on-the-field undefeated regular season in school history this year. The Panthers officially finished 10-0 in 2021, but that record included a forfeit win from an on-the-field loss to Cleveland. The Panther program is on a roll, having won 10 or more games in 7 of the last 9 seasons and earning playoff berths for 11 consecutive years. Back with more of After the Game in just a moment.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Terry Howell, Danny Shears, Fred Wilson, Carolyn Henderson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you are considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the F&M Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
I can't imagine life without Gwen, but we came dangerously close.
I was having chest pains.
Luckily, there was a hospital nearby that quickly discovered one of her arteries was 100% blocked. A hospital with life-saving technology and the latest in cardiac treatment, with an experienced team of doctors and nurses focused on fixing Gwen's heart. What hospital had all of that?
It was all right here at RMC.
What does it mean to be a community bank? At Noble Bank and Trust, it means you're more than an account number, you're a valued member of our community. Whether it's checking, savings, a loan, mortgage, or line of credit, Noble Bank and Trust meets all your banking needs with exceptional technology customized just for you while making you feel right at home. Make the switch to Noble Bank and Trust, and we will make sure you're taken care of from beginning to end. Noble Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Tailgate season is here, and tailgate with a new Team 1 Chevy. With every test drive, you have the chance to win a new Team 1 Chevy tailgate package. With 1.9% financing and up to $10,000 discounts on all Silverados. Take a test drive with a chance to win a new tailgate package. Save big with Team 1 Chevy and be a winner. Remember, Team 1 Chevy, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, the voting is underway for the final 40 candidates in our Farmers and Merchants Bank Spirit Scholarship. Voting will take place through next Monday, not this Monday, the next Monday, November the 18th. Farmers and Merchants Bank has given away over $6,000 in scholarships, more than that. Thousands and thousands of dollars in scholarships just in the last 6 years, and they're going to give away more. They're going to give away $3,000 in college scholarships, plus a whole lot more. Farmers and Merchants Bank serving all of Calhoun and Cherokee counties with branches in Centernow, Piedmont, Anniston, Oxford, Jacksonville. Check them out. Farmers and Merchants Bank, great supporters of local high school sports here in Calhoun County. We've got one more round of highlights, Coach. Let's talk about the game tonight at Lamar Field in Oxford. For much of the first half, Oxford was in a dogfight with Buckhorn. A game that Oxford was expected to win handily, 7-0 game. But again, kind of like Piedmont, Oxford, this ain't their first rodeo. They've won a lot of football games through the years, playoff experienced playoff coaching staff. So they poured on in the second half and win this thing going away 42-0.
And that's been the MO for them several times this year. Early in the game, I think they're just feeling their way around. But they have such a good coaching staff. It proves to me that they make a lot of halftime adjustments and come out and then blow people away. That's the proof. All I needed to see right there. Next week, the lights are going to be flashing.
And in the players' defense here a little bit, maybe for the sluggish start, it's easy to overlook a 6-4 Buckhorn, especially if you're Oxford when you got Hartselle on the horizon with the history that they've had, especially the last couple of years. All those kids, they're 100 miles apart, but Oxford and Hartselle, they know each other very well because of baseball, as you said, because the last 2 years in football. So it had to be hard to not look ahead to that Hartselle game just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And Sam and them done a great job, and I'm sure they got reminded at halftime. It was probably a spirited revelation going on there with them at halftime. I would have loved to have been in there just to hear it. But, yeah, you could – in the playoffs, you just try to survive. Just advance. That's all you're trying to do, survive and advance. Survive and advance.
Let's take you out to the highlights on Lamar Field in Oxford for this 6A first-round matchup between the Oxford Yellow Jackets and the Buckhorn Bucks coming down from Madison County at Newmarket. When we arrive, third quarter, Oxford is leading 22-0. Bucks' first drive, Justin Smith fields a low snap, scrambles, and he throws it, but it's intercepted by Oxford's Jalen Taylor at the 38, and he brings it all the way down the sideline for the touchdown. And that puts Oxford up immediately 29-0 to start the third quarter. Bucks again with the ball. Smith rolling out again, and this time he's going to be picked off again. Cedric Twyman, this time with the INT for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. The drive, however, after this timeout, talking with Coach Adams and the team over there, would stall, but late in the fourth quarter, Oxford's Mason Mims hands off to Caleb Wynn. 45-yard touchdown run. It's 35-0 Oxford. There's the lights you mentioned flashing at Lamar Field. Sam Adams, he's up 35-0, but he doesn't look very happy. There's a smile from Coach Adams. And then we've got Maddox Mims in now at quarterback for Oxford. He'll take the fake handoff, runs to the sideline, picks up a first down. And on the next play, the younger Mims to the air to a wide open Joshua Dupree, who walks into the end zone for the Oxford touchdown that made it the final. There's those lights again. 42-0. Oxford tonight a winner over Buckhorn as Oxford improves to 11-0. Coach, your thoughts on Oxford and Hartselle next week?
I think it'll be an epic game. I hope we get to go. And
I think that's probably a high probability right now.
Yeah, look for something next week, because if there's things that they've worked on, I know they are, because they've won some games handily. We'll see some trick plays. There'll be something in the kicking game that will happen, a block punt, maybe a fake punt, onside kick. In 6A football, you're always looking to steal a possession. Whichever team can steal a possession early in the game will have the advantage and may be the difference in winning and losing.
Should be a great atmosphere for high school football between two blue bloods. Again, we talked about blue bloods a lot. Here's two more, Oxford and Hartselle. We're up to our final Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year nominee. You can vote beginning at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning on our High School Football Alabama Facebook page. The voting will be in effect for basically 2 weeks, all the way up to the 22nd. We'll announce the winner here on our show. This is a fan vote. This is you just liking whichever game you think should be Game of the Year. So let's take you right now to this final nominee, Southside and Gadsden City from just a few weeks ago. Titan Stadium in Southside. Gadsden City and Southside meeting for the first time ever in history, the two largest schools in Etowah County. And Gadsden City came in as the favorite. Look at the crowd there, especially on that Southside side. Here's the game-winning field goal by, or should say that was a potential game-winning field goal. Here's Gadsden City scoring right here. And then there's the game-winning field goal by Southside that put them ahead. And just to ice it at the end of the game, as Gadsden City in the waning seconds, less than a minute to go, they had a scoop and score on a Gadsden City fumble to make it 30-23, a thrilling win by the Southside Panthers as they beat Gadsden City at Titan Stadium. And that is our fifth and final nominee in our Northeast Orthopedics Game of the Year. Again, the voting begins on that 8 o'clock tomorrow morning at High School Football Alabama's Facebook page. Dad's Barbecue. Let me tell you, folks, do you realize that we are now less than 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving? And Dad's Barbecue, that's the place to be for your Thanksgiving needs, because let me tell you, they've got anything you need for Thanksgiving, not only the meats, the hickory smoked meats, the turkey, the ham, the chicken. You can order all this in advance, go pick it up, have it ready to go. All you have to do is heat it up on Thanksgiving. And then they've got all the sides. They've got the sweet tea. They've got everything. You don't have to do anything. You can get all of your Thanksgiving meal from Dad's Barbecue, and that's going to be right up there at Dad's Barbecue in Anniston. So Dad's Barbecue and Top of the River bringing you our media center here on High School Football Alabama's After the Game. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show, including our final brackets. We'll run through the 7A brackets next.
Wow, these guys are everywhere, I'm telling you.
Hey, you remember when we talked about doing some upgrades to the bathrooms and the floors?
I do.
Well, I think it's about time we check in to do it.
I know exactly who to call. They're everywhere.
From your kitchen, bathroom, living room, fireplace, or anything in between, even the golf course, Ted's is everywhere. Call today for your free in-home estimate.
The game-winning touchdown.
A goal line stand.
The perfect catch.
The perfect stop.
These are the moments that move you, but when a sports injury puts you on the sidelines, it's our job to get you moving again.
Anderson Orthopedic Associates is the longest-standing orthopedic practice in East Alabama, providing exceptional care to thousands of athletes.
Shaping the next generation of legends.
Dedicated.
Dedicated.
Dedicated to what moves you.
Addison Orthopedic Associates, 8 a.m. Saturday Sports Injury Clinic. Every football season Saturday, 701 Layton Avenue, 3rd floor, Tyler Center.
McClellan Sports and Outdoors, locally owned and operated since 2008. We offer embroidery, sublimation, and screen printing, and we stock a large selection of team equipment. We have a large showroom with tons of gear and shoes to get you and your family ready for your next activity. Adidas, Under Armour, Maui Gym, Evo Shield, Wilson, and more. We are located in the heart of Calhoun County, here to serve our region with all your athletic needs.
We stand for Mother Nature, home sweet home. The best you, sunsets with friends, hustle, art that lasts, life's simple pleasures. You know, life has purpose when we stand for something. ATCU is now Emblem, a credit union that stands for excellence and community. But most of all, Emblem Credit Union stands for our members and what's important to them. We stand for you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Judd Edwards for your personal price plan today.
High school football, Alabama after the game presented by the Calhoun County Commission. Earlier tonight, County Commissioner Danny Shears was our special guest to kick off the show, talking about all the good things, the tourism going on in Calhoun County. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, Lee Patterson, not only promoting tourism, but also promoting our schools, quality of life things like high school football Alabama after the game, Calhoun County Sports Hall of Fame, concerts, events going on. Calhoun County Commission, a lot of good things happening in Calhoun County thanks to your county commissioners. Back on after the game, we've got one more bracket to run through as we go back to our Team 1 Chevrolet of Gadsden brackets, and it's Class 7A. Now, this is only going to be half of what we had in Classes 1A through 6A. Auburn tonight winning at home at Doug Sanford Stadium against Bob Jones of Madison, 63-27. Auburn, the #1 team in 7A. Look at this dream matchup. This is the quarterfinals now in Class 7A. They have one less round. Thompson tonight beating Daphne 50-0 over in Alabaster. So next week it will be Thompson, #5 team in the state, 8-3, going in to take on undefeated 10-0 Auburn at Doug Sanford Stadium. A huge Super 7 type matchup there between Auburn and Thompson. In the other bracket, this is not North and South this year. As you can see, you got Austin from Decatur playing Enterprise, Baker from Mobile playing Hewitt-Trustful. So this is not North-South like it is in the other brackets. Tonight, Enterprise, they come into Decatur and they beat Austin 32-21. And I think, in my mind, this may be a bit of an upset. Baker tonight from Mobile at home beat Hewitt-Trustful 17-14. So next week it's going to be Baker. They will be traveling to Enterprise to take on the Wildcats. Enterprise 7-4. Baker is now 8-2. The other bracket, not the North, Vestavia Hills. This surprised me. They went to Sims in Montgomery County and beat #3 Mary Montgomery 42-21, and Central of Phoenix City. Look what they did. They traveled on the road to Madison and they beat the James Clemens Jets tonight 70-14. I think this is a great matchup next week.
Yes.
Vestavia Hills, they are going to come in to take on their 6-5 now. Don't let that record deceive you.
Their schedule.
Their schedule
was the toughest in 7A.
They go to Central Phoenix City down at Garrett Harrison Stadium to take on the Red Devils, who are ranked #4 at 8-2. And the final game in Class 7A, Hoover, #2 team, back where Hoover should be. They beat Fairhope tonight 35-10 at home. Opelika, maybe the surprise team this year in all of 7A, they routed Florence. The same Florence team that Oxford played last week. Opelika beat them 43-7 tonight down at Bulldog Stadium. So next week, another really sneaky good game. Opelika, they come in at 9-2, number 6 in the state, going into the Hoover Met to take on the Bucks, who are also 9-2, and the number 2 team in the final 7A poll. Coach,
some blue bloods.
Let's explain what was happening here in 7A. 7A in the past has also been north and south, but they only have 4 rounds of playoffs, so they switched it up. And so now it's not north-south.
No.
It's brackets. It's not 1 versus 2 and 3 versus 4. This year they had, I guess, 1 against 3 and 2 against 4, right?
You know, it does cause more travel, but 7A schools can handle that travel and the money that it costs. What they're trying to get is similar to what they do in Georgia, was just like they do in Georgia. Instead of having a north-south champion, and we look at it and say, well, that was a state championship type game in round 2 or 3, they're wanting it to be where you may have some teams out of the same region playing each other for a state championship. That's their goal in the 7A.
Absolutely. Well, let's give you our schedule before we leave you on this football Friday night. We will be here with you next Friday, November 15th, for the second round. Complete full show here on After the Game. And we will be with you on November 22nd at 10 p.m. right here live on Facebook and YouTube for the quarterfinal round. That will be our last show of the year, is the night after the quarterfinals on November 22nd. For Coach Michael Short, our entire hardworking After the Game team, we bid you a great good night, great weekend. We'll see you back here next Friday night at 10 o'clock.